Hope everyone's okay. Oh, the lights come on. Oh, it's been a sunbed, my eyes. You like that on you on the sunbed? On your eyes. I should have got some goggle things on that I've done. Oh, it's cold in here. But my hands are freezing, my face is boiling. My legs are well and all. Oh, just lay in the bed today like that, fall asleep. Johnny Jump, hello mate, how are you doing? Rob, another great lad. Andrew Williams, evening mate. Papa and you, hey Papa, hope you're okay. Good lads on here tonight, up to now. Anthony Lunn, another great lad. I'm doing good, mate. Oh God, my eyes watering a bit. When you do that, don't you? And you look into it, and I'm trying to. Obviously, if you leave your eye like that, you end up with a black line. So I'm doing that on the things, trying to make your eyes getting all the tan underneath. I'm bloody not burnt it, just obviously strained it. But when I come out the sunbed, I was like, oh, when you go in when you go in the room, it's like it's the light in it. It's like snow in it when it's snowing, and then the sun comes, the light blinds you. Feet up that. Johnny Flabs, Flavs. My eyes is stinging. Andrew Williams, Jimmy John. I'll have to say like that one. I have to go. Why do they call them? Get out! Out! Ungawa! Why do they call pirates? Because they are. Oh, my eyes, it's done me head. Right, if you only had one eye, you could take it out and just wash it under the tap. Put it back in. Rambo, hey, son. Steve Mac, hello, brother. Welcome to the house of fun, everybody now. Welcome to the lion's den. Welcome to the house of fun. Madness for good one there. If you don't have a laugh and you don't smile, it takes 27 muscles to frown and 13 to smile, so why waste energy? Ding ding. I have to say Colin Maguire, hello mate. Freedom's a great lad. Papa Lazar, Captain Caveman. Gaffer 22, evening mate, and everyone else. Hugh Hardberg, another great lad. Stephen Gibbons, another good lad. Cartman, another good lad. There's no bad ones on here. Aldi, ALD, Bry. Is that a dog there next to it? Some shit, I don't know, I can't see my eyes bad. Leroy, Winston, Brian, Emma, hope you are following well now, but every person called Freedom, he has put a couple of people off your channel. I don't know what you're on about, mate. Freedom's a good lad. He's talking the night on the phone. Jimmy Morrison, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much. You're a legend, brother. There's those idiots trying to cause trouble between people and stuff like that. Well, two idiots. We know who they are. Oh, they're in serious trouble now. Giving the big large and selling lies and saying this and saying that. Oh, watch what's going to happen now. You watch. When you do things, you've got to have a good memory. And when you put things out there and say people are doing certain things and all the time dates are wrong and everything, right in the fucking shit. You made a fool. You made a fool of yourself, an absolute fool. And everyone's onto him. Bullshitter. The bullshitter. Gaffer 22. Say that idiot that we know that's the fucking divvy. I won't even say it. That's the little divvy that was. So that's the little divvy. He's put on a post today going, the police are watching every one of your lives, and when they find out what you do, and they're going to come and get you and arrest you, and you're going to jail for the rest of your natural life. really scared. I'm really frightened. The police are watching me, Emma.
Oh, God.
The police are watching me.
Oh.
This is about the 400th time we've
I might get hung here.
Yeah, we might get that. Might get hung and quartered. Yeah.
I tell you what
Hung, drawn, and quartered.
Fools
Now somebody,
another
one's just come on there saying, my name's such and such. Freedom's been causing trouble and calling your name. So that no, Freedom hasn't been called his name. So that was lies.
Oh, just insanity.
Just another one on tonight.
Let them get on.
No, I've just got them off.
Yeah, good.
I just said I spoke to Freedom last night and night before. Are you, Cindy, love? Are you all right?
Hey, Cindy. Cindy, I'll definitely get in touch with you later.
Ex Dan XR2. He's right, that lad. He's real him. Are you up, right? Hope you're both doing good. Yeah, we're doing really good. Absolutely fantastic. Been on the shop today, doing a little bit of shopping. Jumped on the sunbed, got my hair cut.
Oh, have you been on the sunbed, you little?
Yeah, I only went on 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why my eyes, the only thing you sent me was your eye water.
How can you know?
I went on the sunbed.
Did you without me?
Well, you had your chance to come. Timmy, bro, yeah. So we've got a couple of things. My beautiful assistant, wife, is going to read them out because she's better reading than me. How many got one eye? Has anybody got another eye than me? Oh, I better not ask him. Better not ask him. He'll have normally. Lend me that eye, you won't have another eye, will he? Fucking hell.
I'm just going to force.
I'll tell you what, you can keep an eye on that. Okay, hell. Keep an eye on your eye.
I just send this comment.
Yeah, just a little quick one. I'll just read you. He said, the so-called idiot who's just been on, called himself Gary Smasher, we know who it is, saying he never made a documentary about Rome at all. It's all his fantasy head. It's all made up. It's all shit. So I never made one. Then what the fuck's that there? Then was that made by the fairies? Was that made by the fairies? That there's Brian Cockerill. I'm sure that's me. You know that there. I'm sure that's me. And there's Roll Mort there. There's me talking about the documentary because what I said, I didn't want kids. So what I did is, wasn't being disrespectful Roll Mort. So I said, they said, oh yeah, people are finding him a hero. I said, no, he's not a hero. I said he was mentally ill. He was disturbed at the time. What happened? Obviously his wife was having an affair, messed about, whatever you want to call it, whatever thing. He was in jail and he was phoning up and threatening to come out to shoot her and to shoot her boyfriend. So what should have happened in the usual case? What happens? The prison service didn't let anyone down. It was the police as usual. So what happens? The prison services phoned the police because they've recorded everything in the prison. And she said he's threatening me. So they listened to the phone calls and they said to the police, look, blah, 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 blah. You need to get him. He's gone about going around shooting his wife. So they took no notice of it. He got out of jail. He went round, shot that poor innocent policeman in the car, blinded him. And then that policeman killed himself. And then he went and killed the lad through the kung fu expert, karate expert, shot him through the window and killed him. Now, if he'd have been given the gate arrest, Paul Roll Mort, it had been realised, it would have given him a psychological evaluation by a psychiatrist. They'd have kept him in section for maybe 3 to 6 months, like my brother got when he was bad. Thank you, Autistic Man. You're a legend. Anthony Lund, you're a legend as well. Thank you very much for the donations. So he would have been given a psychological evaluation. He would have been sectioned and he'd have got the medication when he needed. Then he would have come out and all them people's lives would have been saved. So it was a sad thing what happened. But let's hope they realise next time when somebody says they're going to shoot somebody from a prison, the police arrest them on the gates, realise they have got mental health issues, and then these could have happened. But Mort is no hero. I put the real heroes are our servicemen and women fighting in Iraq and Iran, in Afghanistan. That's what I put in. It scores about on the run from almost 7 days. Blah blah blah. Brian was once described as one of the 6 hardest men on the planet. Used to work as a dominant. His patch in Redcar. The only spell Brian had in jail was for driving offences. He served 2.5 years for that, and just goes on about what we stuff. But that's just mainly about that. Saying he was saying I was lying about the documentary. I've never done. I've done 5 national documentaries. 1 for the BBC, 2 for Channel 4, 1 for Channel 5, 1 for Dispatches about it was called Gun Nation. That was another one he said I made up, but I've got that upstairs as well. But the main one he said I was lying about was going, he's never been in a magazine about Scottish hard bastards, all that shit on the front with his so-called sword and his gold round his neck, all that garbage he's been telling you. It's all he lives in a fantasy world. It's all made up, big bright lies. It's just lies. Just I promise you, it's just all lies. He's never ever been Scottish hard bastards. How can he be in that when he's in England? So how can he be in that? Well, the reason why I could be in that is because maybe I was born in Scotland. So maybe the Sun, that paper there was Gazette, Saturday, July 17th, 2010. This one is 2006. Book Unmasked Scotland's Meanest Men. Hard nuts. So there was no gold, there was no sword, there was no kilt on me, there was nothing. I was making it all up. So what's that then? Scotch Mist, do you get it? Scotch Mist. There on there. There on there. No, I'm sorry. I'll just do this bit so people will see. There on there. There's the gold round my neck. There's the chain. There's the kilt. And there's the sword in between my legs there. Sword and axe. Really plastic. And that's when the police, he's saying, what a load of fantasy world he lives in. As if the police would turn up for plastic swords. Well, they did. What happened? They went out like that and it started raining. You know, the swords, as you know, they're like they got the shop, like the joke shop and all that. You get them, like, you dress up in that. So I got that. It was a tartan blanket.
Have I lost my job of reading stuff out?
No, I'll let you do it in a minute. I'm just talking. I just want to tell the stories. So hey, you're going to meet in a minute.
Right.
So it's on there, number 5, just 2 minutes when I talk this. So Steve Richardson was doing the books. He went, do you want to go on the Scottish Hard Bastards? He said, I'm going to put you on the front cover. He said, don't put the gold bracelets on that. Don't put your big thick chain on. He said, just put the other ones because they're more like gothic and it looks more authentic because obviously, like, you know, like on the battlefield as like say Bannockburn, you know, in the old Scottish days, like the Highlands, get like a Highlander. So I had a pair of boots on, I had my weightlifting belt. I got the tartan kilt. It wasn't a real kilt, it was a blanket, like a shawl. And I put the gold on my neck, as you can see, it's there. So there's the gold on me. There's the Scottish Hard Bastard, it was called. You've seen it's all fantasy. It's all made up lying. Cockerill's lying. He just can't stop making these lies up. He's just a liar. Well, there's that. It's there. And that was 2006, guys. So there, read that out for us.
Yeah. Let's have a look. All right. Is it that? Is it
where it just says Brian, just on the right.
Big Brian, the taxman Cockerill left, is hated by the peddlers of the soul destroying stuffed drugs. At 6'3", at 6'3", with 23 stone of rock solid muscle, his awesome power is made of a truly terrifying force in Britain's underworld. Using nothing but his hands as weapons, he has patrolled the streets and clubs and raves of Britain, keeping order and taxing those ill-gotten gains he sees fit to take his share of. Drug dealers and shady club promoters everywhere know that if the taxman's in town, it's time to pay up or get out. All of them are aware the appalling violence this man connects on his enemies. He has been arrested hundreds of times, is suspected by the police of having been involved in half a dozen murders, but they always seem to walk away uncharged. The police don't know whether to vilify Cockerill or to recommend him for a night.
Told you that I said that. He's going as if the police would say that. As if the police would say it.
He will be running for the position of Middlesbrough, currently held by the RoboCop Raymond.
There you are, guys. So there it is there in black and white.
Anything else?
No, just want to keep it together. In black and white, I've kept it there. Cockerill has been arrested for a dozen murders, right? And he keeps walking free because they couldn't prove them. Well, I didn't do them, one or the other. But he said that the arsewipe, as we all know, and very smash it. I've seen 7 times where he's been questioned over murders. Then he changes to something else. So I've got all the paperwork with all the newspapers, and I've also got, in 2009, I was arrested for another murder, attempted murder, and 2007, I was arrested for another attempted murder. So I've got them, but in these ones, I've got the letters from the judge, I've got the letters from the prison, I've got the letters from, he said, I'm making them up, but I've got these letters from my solicitors, Nixon solicitors, Craig B was involved. I've got the letters from Home House Prison, where I was in. I was in there for 110 days. As you know, the Iceman was real. because you've seen it last night. Emma read it out on the statement. The Iceman was nearly 7 foot tall from the lad's statement who gave the statement last night, which I read out to you.
We didn't do the statement last night.
Did do it.
The Iceman statement?
Yeah, we did.
We didn't.
I did.
We're going to do it tonight.
I did it last night.
Right, if somebody can tell us.
I did it last night.
I promise you.
I read it out last night.
I promise.
I read it out last night.
No, you're going to do it tonight.
Didn't I read it out last night, guys? About the site, about Michael Johnson, and in the house. You went out.
You talked about it, but you didn't read it out.
No, I did. Well, where is it then? If it would be down here, if it was everything you did, took it back upstairs.
You told me you only bring 3 down there. The other 3 I used last night there.
Yeah, just the 3. Yeah,
the 3.
And these are 2 today.
Oh, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
So
That's not there.
Yeah, I know. So there's no yeah, because I took it back. It's never come down. Only brought
Have
3.
a little watch later on, and you'll see.
Right. I read it out. I know I did. He says Michael Johnson.
You're going to read the actual thing out tonight, but you talked about
I'll
it.
go and get it then. I'll tell you now, I read it out.
Have you got seen I got? Great Bear. Which one?
I think the
Gonna get off it.
yeah.
There it is again. Right, Michael Johnson. Definitely read it out last night. Yeah, read it again.
You talked about it, but you said I was going to read it out tonight, honestly. Brian didn't show this statement last night, did he? I just showed the 3 things that you're thinking definitely 1,000,000%. Honestly. Right. So, that coming on?
No.
Yeah, right, hold on. If I put it on your leg, and then I'll just hold it. Hold on. Right.
that. Just have to read it out.
There. Statement, Michael Johnson. This statement consists of pages each signed by me. Is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. I make it knowing that if it's tendered in evidence, I shall be liable to prosecution. I am Michael Johnson.
This is my solicitor. He's made this too.
I reside at the address overleaf my grandmother. I make this statement in relation to an incident which occurred at a friend of mine, Stephen Allison's house in Pentland Avenue on 28th of August 2007. Is it Stormbriar?
Yeah.
To this.
Read it. You don't need to put the thing on.
Oh yeah, right. So, got on this day, I was at Stephen's house having my tea. His wife and children were there as well. Stephen kept getting phone calls from Chris Curry asking him to meet at the Telstar in relation to a debt. Stephen kept putting himself off, telling him he was busy, but he would come later. He said that he was waiting for his stepdad Ice to come because he would sort it out.
Iceman's a 7 foot tall black lad.
Stephen told me that he borrowed £1,000 off Danny Ison, but he'd lied to me and told me that he'd been paying it off and he got the debt down to 200.
Danny, before you go, just a minute. Danny's the army lad who was in the army, so we lent him the money and never paid it.
Right.
Right.
I didn't understand why Stephen would lie to me about that. From where I could see, he was taking this Danny for a joke. I had been there on previous occasions when Danny had rung him up and asked him about the money. Stephen had basically said nothing Danny could do about it. On the night in question, Stephen was waiting for his stepdad, Ice, and his mum to come back.
Which was Gail.
Down, they were coming for the tea also. His mum rang him to say they were going to be a bit late, but they eventually arrived. I'll just give that a quick, see what I mean now. They eventually arrived at the house about 6 p.m. Around the same time that his mum and stepdad arrived, he got a text from Chris saying that they'd been waiting over the Telstar and basically saying that if Stephen did not turn up, they would come to the house. They said that they did not want any trouble, they just wanted the debt sorting. When Ice turned up...
Chris is Chris Curry, who's the lad who has saved his life.
I was urging Steve to explain the problem that he had to his stepdad, but he kept saying to me, no, it's okay. A short while later, I was in the kitchen at Stephen's house when I saw Chris Curry jump over the wall in the front garden and come in the door. I saw Ice jump up straight away and he went to the door. The door was open and Chris was trying to talk to Steve, basically saying he wanted to talk to him to sort the debt and that he'd been ringing him all day. Ice obviously did not know what was going on as Steve had kept him in the dark about the debt, as well as he was asking Chris what was going on and what he was talking about. The next thing I heard was a bang, as though someone had hit somebody.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell them what that was. So what that was is Ice had a little machete of someone I saw to hit Chris on the head. 36 stitches nearly killed him and he fell and hit the floor.
Right, so the next thing I heard was a bang, as though someone had been hit, although I did not see it because I was in the kitchen. So I don't know who hit first. The next thing I saw was Ice grab hold of Chris Curry and pull him into the house.
That's kidnapping.
Steve then locked the front door.
Which is kidnapping and false imprisonment.
I just pointed something out as well because they were saying Brian was that mad that he called someone Iceman. But you can see this lad who's done the statement is blatantly calling him Ice.
Yeah, all the way through.
Right? So the door was open and Chris... Oh, I've done that right, haven't I? Oh, no, that's right. There we go, yeah. Steve, right, so don't know it first. And then Steve locked the front door. There was mayhem in the house and there was chairs and furniture being thrown everywhere. The way the house is set out, there's an area under the stairs where there is a computer. Chris had been thrown into the floor under the stairs and Steve was hitting Chris with a bat. He was smashing his face in with a bat. There was blood splattered all up the walls. The next thing I saw was a shadow at the window next to the front door, looking in where the door was banging. I was next to the patio doors in the kitchen trying to get out with Stephen's son, who was 12, Nathan. Chris was screaming as he was getting his head smashed in. The door came through and Brian Cockerill came into the house. I stood up straight away, and I think at this point Steve ran up the stairs and dived out of the window. Right. Steve's wife and kids were still in the house. From what I could tell, Brian came into the house to get Chris out. At this point, Chris was kicking off, trying to throw punches at Ice. I don't know how he managed to get up. I saw his head was smashed open and he was severely injured. Ice was trying to fight with both Brian and Chris. I did not see Ice on the floor at any point. He was on his feet. I was in the kitchen in the corner with Nathan. We were both scared. I could not really see very much because I was standing behind Ice, but I could see Chris was trying to throw punches at him, but it wasn't doing anything to him because of the size. Ice, I think Ice is almost 7 foot tall. He's absolutely massive. I'll just show you that bit as well.
Right, he's going, what a load of shit. What a load of bullshit. Cockerill's fantasy world. All made up lies, all crap, all bullshit. These are statements from there. And there's the witness statements for the police. The police took them from the courts. That's other statements there, look.
Right.
The
So I'll show them what in a sec.
Yeah.
Ice is almost 7 foot tall, absolutely massive.
Right,
I do not like Chris Curry, and I'm scared of him. I was in a corner with Nathan trying to hide from Chris in case he saw me, and also to stay out of trouble. There is a glass kitchen table in the kitchen which ended up on the floor.
Yeah,
at one point, Brian and Ice came toe to toe with a confrontation and basically were saying to each other, let's have a fight 1-on-1. The next thing, somebody must have called the police because I heard sirens and Brian and Chris left the house. I can understand why Brian came into the house, as he must have seen his friend Chris being battered on the front doorstep and dragged in the house. It is obvious that he came in the house to help his friend. Otherwise, I think he would have started assaulting people when he first came in if he wanted trouble. When Brian came into the house, he was trying to grab hold of Chris to pull him out of the house, but at the same time, Ice was trying to get at them. It was absolute mayhem. I was mainly worried about myself and Stephen's son. I think that Steve had caused a lot of the trouble himself by lying to both his friends and family about the death. I think he could have prevented it by simply cooperating with Chris Curry and going down to Telstar rather than lying to him and putting him off and waiting for him to come to the house when he thought, from what he was saying to me, that his stepdad would sort him out. The police took my details when they came to the house, but they've never been to take a statement from me. And it has been some weeks since the incident. I am willing to attend court if necessary.
So he's telling you there, the police took his name and address, but didn't want to take a statement off him because he was going to do that statement. So they didn't want him. So then what they've done is, he on that statement on there it says the police let me walk outside. On there it says they let me walk outside with a bat.
Read that one out now?
That's nearly the same. It's just impediment in place. No, I'll just leave that out, Doug. It's the same thing there. So what he done is they had a bat, but so he said, where's the bat? So he ran upstairs, but the police were in the house. So he went in the room and he got a bat and he put it down the side, like your tracky bottoms. He put it in there and he walked down the stairs with it, like at the side. And he went outside and he went next door and he put it into the woman's house next door. So the woman next door was called. Sorry, I've left that upstairs. The statement. The woman's made a statement for us as well. There, Chris Curry, who was assaulted Ice, was keeping blah blah blah. So what they've done is they turned up the police and they let them move the weapons next door that they used on Chris. There was a rounder's bat, there was a iron bar, there was a knife, there was the little samurai sword. This is all from the so-called fake author. It's all made up in his head. It's all shit. There's the dates, the times, and everything for fucking everything where it was at. No lies, all there. Everything's there from the time, the date. The lads' names are being said in all the books it's in from day one. So this idiot now just looks like a complete bigger bellender than the bellenders he writes about. What a clown you look now. Absolute fool you look now. So everything you're saying, he's telling everyone he was in the papers, the 5th Emergency Services. Well, there I am in the paper. It's the 5th Emergency Service. That's what they said there. See, I became known as the 5th Emergency Service. Everything I say is lies and lies. So heaven come on, that's another paper, a different paper. That's another paper. There's the other one. There was no such thing as that film. There was no such thing as that Roll Mode documentary. Even if there was, Cockerill wasn't in it. Well, there I am there, in colour, not in black and white, in colour, in the movie, in the series. So there's the other one. Hard nuts. There was no such thing. There was no book ever made about the Scottish hard bastards. That's what it was called. There it is there. In black and white. Gazette. There's the gold. He never had gold. It's all lies, all made up. Never had a sword on the front. All lies, all made up. So if I never had a sword, I never had a kilt, I never had to dressed up as a Highlander, why is it in there then? Why is it in there, you mug? Hey, mug. Why is it in there? Why is it in there, you little mug? Little 5'6" mug. Never written a book in your life. Crank. You've been outed again with more. more evidence. These are from the to the courts. It's from solicitor's witness statement. Michael Johnson, date of birth 11/11/1974, and here it is here on the 21st of the 9th, 07. Brown beer and Nixon, Craig Beer and what's he called? Beer, Craig Beer and Graham Brown, and the other one's Nixon. They're the richest people in Redcar, the Nixons. It's not them as family, but they're all solicitors and they own gold shops and everything. They're really rich. They've got like big massive castle they've got on the way out to Odds Mask. They own that fucking worth about £3 million. Multi-millionaires. They own most of Saltburn as well. So I had him as my solicitor. And I got remanded for 110 days for going in the house. My mate went in. What happened is Danny was in Iraq and his mates got blew up. So he was sat there and he sat on the floor like this, and his mate's body parts were on top of him, his arms and legs, and the heads and that were blown to pieces. So his head had gone. He was walking around with a pair of underpants on his head in the desert. His head had gone. So when he come back, he got his pension money. And now there's the other one. We said, the fixer, just in case you missed it last night. The fixer, as if they put him in against the police. What a load of shit he talks. What a load of garbage he comes out with. Well, if there wasn't, so why am I there then? Right, again, Mr. Doyle. Right, this one is the 29th, 2008. 12 different years, different days. Every other year I'm in. There I am there. Up against the police. Who do you fall, the fixer or the fuzz? So they'll go through all the permutations. At the end they say, well, if I was going to phone anyone, I'd phone Brian Cockerill. And that's what they say in the paper. Again, in the paper, 100% there, proof. What have I done? So what he's saying now probably is, what he's done is he's stolen the DeLorean. He's gone back in time and he's changed the papers around. He's mental. So he's saying now, the police have phoned him. Was that you, mister?
No, Mr. Daniel.
And phoned him up and he went,
Yeah, it's me.
oh yeah, we know it's you now.
Yeah, me.
He sure it's not Brian Cockerill because he does the double of you. So he said, it's me.
He said, what do you want? What do you want? 5'6" alpha.
He said, right, we are watching every one of his lives.
That's really good because we are too. We're going to report everything.
So then, so the coppers went, are you sure that's not Brian Cockerill? Anyway, they've gone, listen, we're watching everything, Mr. Doyle. You are the best police informant we've got. You are the greatest police informant we've ever had in Teesside in the history of Grasson. You are at the top of the tree for being a police informant. Well done. We're going to give you an award now. Well, in that thing when I was saying they wanted to vilify me, being a villain, but the other cops were saying around and saying some of them want to give me a knighthood because when I was on the streets, I stopped the drugs. Like I said to you, all the drugs got stopped on the streets. And the cops said to McIntyre, well, I've got to admit, when he was on the streets, it was a safer place. There was no heroin. When he went to jail, all heroin started on the streets. So he said I'm lying about that as well. So here's another one for you to have a look at. So I'm lying about that one. This one is I became the fifth emergency service as a man on a mission to get rid of the streets of drugs. There it is again, in black and white, in colour, whatever you want to call it. Proof again. On a mission to clean the streets. There again. So that's when they said we don't have to vilify him or give him a knighthood for all the work he's done. I chased loads of people back to Leeds and Manchester, London, all them places. So we're still coming up here selling crack in Teesside. They were coming here because in London they were getting caught with the cameras because they're everywhere cameras. We zoom into the camera and catch them in the car, pull them over. So they're coming up in trains to say, like somewhere like Darlington, getting off at Darlington, then backtracking coming from that way. And come through Yarm, getting off at the Yarm train station and getting a taxi into the town, then infiltrating people who's like holding a crack. Then what they used to do was go in and say, right, for every 6 we sell, we'll give you £120 stone if you sell 6 at your house. So what they used to do was get the stones in 20s, put cling film around them, have about 10 in the mouth, like that, like a little hamster. And if the cops door went and they just, some of them have a little bottle with them, just drink it or they just swallow it, or some of them had a trick where they could just swallow it down to the throat, hold it in there, like then regurgitate it back up. I've seen them do it. So they used to do that. And then what they used to do, they used to get the girlfriends to come. They would put it in the thing down below, like an ounce, and they'd have it in like maybe 4 or 5 eighths. Oh, and they'd search it in the thing, come down the train. Police can't say, I'm going to search you down there, and all that. Can't do it. They've got to take the police station. It would cost a fortune. They can do it at the police station, but they have to do like an X-ray or whatever they do, and you check it for. So the girls would come with it there, or the men would plug it in the backside and bring it up to Teesside, and they'd stay over the weekend, say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, go back on the Monday, Tuesday, back to Luton or somewhere, or wherever they were at, Bradford, wherever, because it was safer up here in the street because it was a smaller place, it was less police. So they were doing that for ages. So I went one day, and I got 9 of them at one house, and the sergeant of the drug squad come round, and I'd been fighting with them on the street. I'd knocked 3 or 4 of them out, and I threw them right through the fucking window. Anyway, the fucking neighbours obviously phoned the police and that, and I was stood near the phone box. The copper went, "You've got rid of more people in one day than we have in fucking 9 months. Just unbelievable." He said, "You've chased all of these out of this house and all of them out of that house in one night. We've been trying to do this for 9 months. Obviously, they can't go and beat them up and throw them out." So that's what they were saying. He's doing more than we do, and he's fucking a one-man band. And when you see all these things in here, goes the thing about Cockerill, he did it with his fists on his own. He went on his own as a one-man band and got rid of the drug dealers off the streets, just the ones who were selling heroin mainly, and the ones who were selling crack, because it destroys people's lives. But he's saying all these things and all these papers and all these statements are all made up, the lies. So who made them like the fairies? The fairies write them. So tomorrow, I've got another 3 or 4 different stories in more newspapers. I've got probably about 2 weeks worth of stuff to come on here to make a fool out of the fool who's already a fool. So now he's bragging. He's bragging that the police are phoning him. We're watching every single thing. And when they get him, we're going to put him away for the rest of his known life. You know, like, dun, 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 dun. I'm really fucking scared over that. So can I get like 25 years? No, it's going to be 28 years. Dun, dun, like a fucking dramatic. Might as well do a fucking drum roll. Today, you're going to get 26 years. All units. He's watching old newspaper clippings from the old days. All units arrest him for watching. He's now getting Emma to read the papers out. Emma's getting arrested for quoting papers from 10 years ago.
I'm just having this half bag and I'll be back in.
All units. He's watching it. We're watching it. Dan. As if the police are going to ring him and tell him the fucking just deluded, absolutely deluded. But yeah, so it's been great. Do you know what? I've looked tonight on me phone. I can't believe we've had just 510, I think it is. And we've had 50. If we have got, we'll get that tonight easy. We'll get that on here easy. So after tonight, in 7 days, we've gone about 25% more than usual, and it's gone up to just under 50,000 by use on here now. It's gone past 50,000 views in 1 week. It's not even 7 days till tomorrow. So in 1 week, 50,000 views. By tomorrow, it'll be 60, 70,000. We're getting 10, 15,000 views a day. It's just unbelievable. In a week, 50,000 views in a week. Unbelievable. But this is the channel's going crap, and it's got, obviously, because it was bad the other month and it wasn't too well in me, as you knew. So I was hardly coming on. So I'm coming on now, but flying. You know, hi, Carol. It's Carol Curtis, isn't it? Yeah, I get them mixed up. There's two Carols. And Lee Wortley's on. Hello, brother. 8 people. I'm in the house. Me and you coming on. Something coming on fast and strong. Lee Wortley's a great laugh. I've been having a laugh today with him. I showed him all the cards I had today, the colours and all sorts today. Troop training shoes I used to have. I used to have mine used to be purple. They were brilliant to fight in. They were absolutely solid, best training boots. And I used to get Penn tracksuits. I don't know if you remember them from America. I got 3 of them in Blackpool. It cost me 900. I think they were 300 quid each, something like that. They were a fortune. But they were especially, they were like a jumpsuit. What you know, like you get them in airplanes, where they jump out of airplanes and the pilots and that, and they do that. You know, the Red Devils, like it was like that type of a tracksuit, but they were from America. It's 50 thumbs up, 206 on. So the proof's in the pudding, isn't it, guys? You always know the old saying, the proof's in the pudding. Freedom is a lovely lad. He's a legend. Don't forget to push the like buttons. Colin Maguire, Lee Watley's jumping up the ladder there. Emma Cockerill. Carol Curtis has put the thumbs up. The love's up for her. So, yeah, you can see it's a sad world, this YouTube. You trust someone and then you be nice to them and you help to build a channel for them, and then they can turn on you kind of just like that for no reason whatsoever. It's disgusting. But these people make big mistakes. When you're going to out people, you're going to do bad things about them. You've got to get you. It's like going to school, innit, and going to do a degree on maths, and then you're working on if you're doing a degree on maths and you're doing English, you're not going to do it. So if you're not an expert on it, and the other person you're out and is, you shot yourself in the foot. Stupid. Simon Page might have a job for you. Emma might have a job for you. John Sweeney. Sorry, John. Thank you, John, brother. Thank you. God bless him, mate. You're a legend. Celebrity first super chat from John Sweeney. Good lad, him. Autistic man. Another great lad. Carol's talking to Lee now. On the same page. How to get it on the same page? The book. Yeah. 201 on, guys. Let's get some more on. Where he is at. Steve Max on there. We know the outcome. Yeah, you're right. We know the outcome, and we will have the last laugh. We won't just have the last laugh. We'll have 100 last laughs. It's going to be hilarious when it all comes out. You should know by now to do things with Emma. She does everything meticulously. To put all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed.
I'm only going to say one thing on the subject to the person who's doing it, right? And the names you've called me today. Your organ grinder mate, Apollo, couldn't run us off YouTube. So you, monkey, definitely won't.
Fucking bullshitter. The bullshitter. The biggest fucking liar. I thought it would take some beating for the last one. And I'm telling you what, they've teamed up together, and the two biggest liars on the internet together. Just everyone's laughing at them. Everybody's laughing. They're trying to cause trouble to everyone, but it's not working. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We just ignore the idiots because no one believes a word, Carol, like you said. It's just all bullshit. None of it's fact, none of it's true. It's just all shite for their views. They can't get their own stuff because they haven't got no stories to tell. Just sat there all day long, taking heroin. Take heroin addicts. Keep sharing heroin across the water, sailing across the sea to send me mate some brown. Oh, better get another fucking roll of tin foil for him. 2 tin foils now. Tin. That was Tarzan. I fucking love it. It used to be on in the morning at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. Look, tracksuits, black and purple ones. Yep. I like the trading, so like a purple. I had the bottom when I was in jail, 95. I got them. And I got them in a Blackpool, 95. I went to jail, 95. Got remanded. So that's in there as well, that one. I got remanded, and that tells you that. So I told you all this was show about the Iceman was 7 foot tall, nearly 7 foot tall, absolutely massive. Told you I wasn't lying. 24 Chinky was in jail. He's related to this Stephen Alvinson. So Stephen Alvinson, I can't believe he said that. He said the Iceman. He said I seen him one day. He's full of steroids and everything. He's been in a few things on the telly. He said adverts and stuff. He said he got on the scales. He was over 24 stone, and I was 24 stone, but I was only 6'3". He was 7 foot. 7 fucking foot. Unbelievable. Easy right up, I caught him. Little Chrissy Allen was there and he hit him with it, and that's when he hit the floor. He hit the table and the table smashed to fucking pieces. But that other lad couldn't see now because he was that big. But when he done the black lad, he ran to the door and tried to get out the door, but the door was locked. The back door, fucking shit out. So when I come out the front and I got Chris on my shoulder, I carried Chris out, put him on my shoulder, put him in the car. The lad drove him down the road. And I said to this black lad, get out here, fucking in the grass. Me, I want screaming at him to fight me with going. We got the police, and then I could hear them. The helicopter, you could hear it coming from a distance. So we just fucked off. And anyway, we got caught, got remanded for 110 days in home house. And when it went to court, the lady next door went to Brown Beer solicitors in Scrimmy, my mate, he said to Michael Johnson, didn't threaten him in any way. Scrimmy, a great lad from there, big fucking lump of a lad, can fight for fun, lovely lad. Wasn't for Scrimmy, we were looking at 18 years in jail. Aggravated burglary and attempted murder, they said. That's what I was getting charged with. So Scrimmy said, I know, he just go and do it. He said, I've tried to with the police, they won't let me do it. So then the woman next door phones up the police. Because Scrimmy got a friend, a lady to speak to her, and said, I want to make a statement for Brian and Chris. He said, because of what happened, he said, Chris went to the door and said, oh, what's happened? She said, the baby was in the cot. She said, she was a nurse, Joanne, I think her name was, and her husband was called Bob. So he says that in that statement, because that's another statement what he made. And he said when he went to the house, he said, where's the weapons? Had been moved, but they hadn't been moved. The ice man, if you want to fucking call him, Ice went in, and he had a black bag with a rounder's bat, a baseball bat, and all the implements, and the knife and everything, and the little samurai sword. So they bit him on the head with a samurai sword and split his head open. So they put them in the 2 black bags and put them under the settee. So they're under the settee. So she phones his copper from Stockton, because she said, what was the name of the policeman? So they got his name. Baby lad, what was his name? So she phoned his copper, and he went, oh no, we don't need to statement off you, love. He said, it's all sorted. What's your name? He said, Joanne, I think her name was. She's a nurse. And anyway, she said, I want to make statements because it's untrue. She said, I've got the proof, I've got the weapons under my settee in my house now when my husband's here. He was at work and I was in the house. The windows were open fully. It was really hot. And the window was open a bit for the fresh air to come in. I could hear everything, and I could see everything. And the ice hit him, Chris, on the end with an implement. Like, she thought it was a little sword as well. It was a little samurai sword, but it looked like a machete from where we were stood. Anyway, he hit the deck. She said these glasses fell off there and on the grass, so proved they attacked him. Then they dragged him in, and Stephen come at him with a bat in the face, and then dragged him in, locked the door. So that's attempted murder and kidnapping and imprisonment, false imprisonment. They'd been looking at life off. So anyway, the cops said, we don't need a statement. So then she wasn't putting up with this woman. She was like, no, when you get an honest person, just swear to the nurse. She went, I'm not putting up with this. So she phoned up Craig Bates, can I come in and make a statement? I come down with my husband. He said yes. I told him what it was about. So Craig Beer, she went down, made the statement. He got that statement. She went, no, what happened is, Chris went to the door and she told him that and everything. Said, Brian was running down the street. Leave him, you fucking killed him. Because I've run down the street and I'm shouting. Anyway, there was 2 oldish women in the 60s, a bloke about 74,999. And when you phone 999, it's recorded. The dirty bastards, cops that did a door-to-door investigation. The old man said, I made the 999 call. They hid that. The old woman said, I made a 999 call. And another old woman said they made a 999 call. So all they had to do was the 999 calls that would have proved what happened. So the dirty bastards wouldn't take the statements off the people who've seen what they're seeing. They only went to the ones where they didn't, I was out. Pretending they'd done a full door-to-door. They didn't. So what happened is, the woman said to the solicitor, they never done a door-to-door. They only did so many people. So he was told that, so he written it all down. So she made the statement saying, the weapons are in my house, and she actually took them to Craig B. Said, I don't know what to do with them. She said, I've never been in this situation. It's the worst corruption I've ever seen. Cleveland police again. So the police knew the weapons were there and wouldn't take them. They wouldn't take a statement off the lady from Billingham, Pendleton Place. I think she probably still lives there now. It shows you how fucking corrupt they are with me. Shows you how much they don't like me. And also, she said, I seen everything. She said, Brian was banging on the window. Leave him, you're going to fucking kill him. He's shouting, they're going to kill him. She said, I'm sorry for swearing, but that's what she said. No, that's okay. It's more authentic if you tell me just everything what happened. And then Brian then just smashed the door. She said, I remember when he hit it the second time, grease blocks come out the side of the door. The grease blocks come out and fell on the floor, and the door fell to the side. He like obliterated the whole doorway. He went, and then he came back out about 5 minutes later with his mate on his shoulder, carrying him, put him in the car. He went back and he's going out with him 1-to-1, screaming at him on the doorstep. But then the 999 calls come, called disclosure. So, what do you call it? Makepeace, Peter Makepeace, a barrister from New York. If you ever need a solicitor, barrister, he's the man. He's the man. So Peter Fox was the judge, and Peter something else was the prosecutor. The prosecution barrister turned around and said, and our words, what the fuck's this, to the police? There's 3999 calls here that's been made. One off a man in his 70s and two women in his late 60s. And on the phone call, said, is it the police? Can I get the police? Yes, it is the police. There's a fight. There's a black lad offering a white lad out in the street with gingery blonde hair. He's got glass. Oh, he's hit him. He's hit him on the head with a machete. Like that, she shouted. He's hit him on the head to the old woman. She's, I think he's killed him. So he's fell on the floor. So there's the proof he started it. Oh, there's another one come out. They're dragging him in the house. They've locked him in the house. And then the other one comes on and tells the story of the old man, 999. I've just seen a man being assaulted and dragged into a house in Pedlington Way, what it's called, blah, 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 in Billingham. And the cops knew what happened. So that woman took the weapons and everything. So the prosecution barrister, they had an emergency meeting. It was the 14th of December, because I think it was about the 16th to close down. So they had an emergency meeting. Chris went, we're getting out. I was on one house block and he was on the other end. I was in home. 110 days I was in jail. Said, the cops have withheld the evidence. I know barristers have got the proper evidence now. So when the prosecution barrister who works for the police went, I can't represent these, Your Honour. He sat at this big table. Man barrister was there. He told me. He said, Mr. Makepeace and I are in the same conclusion that this is disgraceful. He said, and the judge said the same. He said, this is an absolute disgusting way to, the way they carried on with us. So when it went to court, Judge, like I said, Peter Fox, Judge Fox, he said, why has these people been treated this way? These people should never have been in jail. Mr. Cockerill was brave enough to go in that house with 6 people yielding weapons and save his friend's life. He's had a war hero, like he said, like Jack Straw said, and he's been persecuted and put in prison for nothing whatsoever. He said the man should be given a medal and never mind a prison sentence. So Chris was crying in the dock and everything because he said, Your Honour, if it wasn't for Brian Cockerill, I would be today, I'd be dead. He said, I was that in fear. I lost 2.5 pints of blood and he had 36 stitches in my head and I think another 16 around stab wounds all over him. And the police went, there was 2.5 pints of blood. You know yourself, crime scene, that can go in and they'll find a tiny little bit like that under a microscope of blood. They couldn't find 2.5 pints of blood. It was all over the fucking walls because that other one ran upstairs with the baseball, with that rounder's bat. And his hands were full of blood. And he put his hand on the wall and you could see his handprints all the way up the wall and all over the doors and everything. Cops couldn't find one bit of blood. And I said, yeah, it's fucking very convenient, isn't it, for the police? But it didn't matter because for that lady, once that lady in Scrimmy and that Michael Johnson young kid there, I was looking at a massive jail sentence. They thought they'd have me again. But luckily, the Lord Jesus Christ come in and saved me at the 11th hour. We were fucking devastated. 14th of December, went in there. Then they went to us, oh, you'll have to wait a little bit longer. I went, the judge just said I can fucking go. Put me back in the bridewell, but wait in the courts. Oh, you've got what it is now. He said you've got to get permission off the prison, governor, to let you go, even though you're in prison. I said, the judges just found us not fucking guilty, so we started screaming at them. I promise you won't be long and all that. So I said, Chris, just forget it. We've been in for 110 days. For another couple of hours, won't help us. Go and get us some more food. Then they're getting me to come back. About 6 of them. Don't start that trying to be clever because of 6 years. You won't last 2 fucking minutes. Put your fucking hand on me and see what happens to you. But no, we don't know trouble. We don't know trouble. Fucking. Anyway, we just got some food and just sat there. About an hour later, they come in and said, like, you're free to go. And we went. Fucking no apologies or fuck all off them. But I should have sued them then. I should have sued them and I got a fucking fortune. But I'm going to sue them this time. I'm not letting them off this time. I've already got the stuff in. 399 phone calls. Firebombed my house. Smashed my windows twice. Firebombed me car. Blew my fucking car up. And then he blew the fucking the house up. And they've never even turned up for 999. But the fucking fire brigade can turn up quicker than them. And they're in fucking top of their range BMW, top of their range X5s, whatever you call them. And they're in a big massive Dennis full of water. And half a dozen fucking fire crew in there. And they get here quicker than the police. Come on, guys. They want to be the burn the cunts. Scumbags. The cop was going, he said, how have you got here after us? 5 minutes after us. Wasn't happy at all, the fire brigade bloke, was he ever?
No, not at all.
He said, this has been going on for 3 years. These people put up with this. And the next day they come, park the fucking vehicles on the front. I said, what's going on? He said, I know we don't trust, we don't trust them. I said, oh, he said, you know what I'm on about? Me in Cleveland Place. So the fucking fire brigade put the fire engines right up the street, both sides. So if anybody come in, they were just reversing out and letting them in and said if it was them, we were just going to block the street off, pulling the police to have them arrested. So that was the plan from them. He said, because out the fire station is only about a couple of miles from my house, 2 miles. So they said, there's no difference. If somebody phones us from me and we can still get to them and help them. But as priority, we still be thinking your life's in danger still. If these come back again, they've already been 5 times to your house. And the police haven't done nothing. So they were saying, why aren't these people getting protected? So the fire brigade said the same, you need to complain. So we complained. Emma spoke to a MP. She spoke to a councillor. She spoke to a mayor. And she spoke to, who else was it, Emma? Somebody from the police on it. And they said that, Emma?
Hey?
I'm just talking to you.
Oh, sorry, I was just watching a chat. What were you saying?
325 for 400. Yeah, so 204 on 64 thumbs up. Absolutely boiling again. Sunbed's killed me. It's a red raw. So anyway, that was that done. So we got out. I think it was Monday, and we went out and we were like, we're out. We walked up and jumped to the taxi, come home. It was good. Tried to get me jail for something I've never done again. Fucking all I did is save my mate's life. Have a go hero. They said Jack Strong, Home Secretary.
But do you know what the maddest part was? You could have got a fortune for him.
I know, I said that.
Couldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I said. 110 days. I think it was something like £400 a day. I think £400 a day you get. I think it's £1,000 a day now. But it wasn't just that. What it is this, guys. If you get arrested and the police get you, and you'll get jailed for something because somebody goes up and makes statements against you in the lie, that's okay. When the police lie, that's a malicious conviction. Malicious conviction, you're getting 10 times the money. So if you're going to get 100 grand, you get £1 million because it's a malicious conviction. They maliciously made the lies up and maliciously hid evidence what they did with us. So that they could have went to jail for it. They'd probably, if we'd have went to court and we won that, they'd probably got the sack. Ryder, they called the cop back. And I seen the wanker about 2 months later. He went, "Oh, did you like your 3 months on remand?" I said, "You fucking tosser." This was Teesside Park, not Teesside Park, Portrack in the Stockton. Clever cunt. And when they took me down, the other one tomorrow, I've got the other one who's going, "He's lying, he wasn't just, all that shite." So I've got another one tomorrow where I go somewhere, I go to a friend's house, big 10-story block of flats, called him Stan. Stan used to get these DVDs and copy them for me, like Only Fools and Awesome stuff, or like say, the Sopranos would come out because they were a fortune when to buy, so he used to get me them. So I goes to Stan. I was in Stan anyway. I'd been to another friend's, which is on Redcar Road, just in Thornaby. Went to see him, Gary and Lisa. It was her husband's son, and his mate was a computer expert. So they come to see me because they played for Spennymoor football team. Anyway, so he wanted to see me and get a book and all that. So I was talking with that. So I watched a bit of the England match as well. So I watched the England match with them. And they left there and I went to that place about 9 o'clock. So I went there 9 o'clock, but this is where the incident took place. As I drove past it, and gone around the corner. So my car was seeing that vicinity 1.5 hours after they come looking for me. So I said to him, "So you think I was there 1.5 hours ago? I know you pulled me over. So why would I be running around after shooting someone? Why would I have the shotgun on me? Why would I have the same clothes on?" I said, "The only reason I've got the same clothes on because I've been out today. Ryan, who was staying with me, like a son to me, he threw a snowball at a car and it went through the window. It was fucking snowing. So the woman next door but one reported the police. So we had to go to the police station. So we went down to the police station on the date at about 10 o'clock. And we said, "It's PC, whatever she was called on." But, "Oh, she's not on at the minute. We'll have to come back tomorrow." So I said, "Well, just tell her it's just about Ryan about throwing the snowball." They went, "Oh, yeah, no problem." So they've written it down. So when they nicked me in the end, the cops, "Where were you?" I went to the police station this morning. I've got the same clothes on camera in there. We've got them now. So I want a powder residue test now, right, from a forensic officer. So she came, this woman, she went, "Are you confident?" So I've never heard of anyone demanding a powder residue test. I said, "Well, this is never ending. This is about the 12th one I've had." Seriously, I went, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I used to have a bit of stubble then when I was younger, a bit of stubble, the time of stubble." So she went, "Well, how are you going to say it's going to be on my nose, on my hairs, on my face, if I've shot this so-called shotgun?" So I was supposed to have shot him in the abdomen Now that kid never made a statement. He never said fuck all that kid. And then a nurse came, another fucking nurse, free off. It was another nurse who lived in the same. This is Thornaby. She said that wasn't Brian Cockerill. I know him. I've seen him before. I've seen him in the hospital. That got Brian Cockerill. And then the other one said Brian Cockerill hasn't got it. It was a little tiny car, like a Fiesta or something. He said, right, Brian Cockerill wouldn't fit inside a Fiesta. I had an Astra. A Vectra. Oh, terrible Vectra Astra. So they were setting me up saying a big Astra was a little fucking Fiesta. I went, oh, the red Fiesta, and my car was royal blue. Totally different cars. So there was like witnesses come out and said it wasn't Brian Cockerill. I know him. Because people all know me on that way. Because my car was seen in the area, you have jumped the gun. Pardon the pun, I said. You thought it's Brian Cockerill, it's a taxman, it's a tax. Oh, Tim, we'll get him. Now, by law, they're not to do that. Or they could pull you over and say, can I have a word with you? But they're not allowed to do what they've done anyway. They've surrounded the whole fucking. They surrounded me with these elite cops. They weren't normal ones. The best normal car was a van, so she come behind the cop woman driving. Oh, she's looking at me. I'm sure she's after me. So I went on the roundabout twice. She'd done the same. They followed me. Them cunts. So I went left, right. I went a bit faster. She was in a van. I left her. So when I came up to my house here, I said to Ryan, where do you want to go? He said, I want to go and see Corey. He's still with her now. His missus. So I said, I'll just go to the garage and get some fuel. That. So I was come out the house, part of the car, and I was come out. There was an armed response. A vehicle, not the BMWs. So I drove round, goes to the garage, got the petrol, come out, got some sweets for him. He said, oh, I'm just going to get Chinese. I said, well, there's a tenner, get what you want. It was obviously just for him. So as I'm driving, I could hear dee. So the normal alarm response just like drove off. So I come down the road to Durham Roadway towards Stockton. And these two big white Citroen, big massive white Citroen like Jeeps. It was still freezing cold. The floor was all ice and everything. So two of these white fucking Citroen pulled me over. It's 4 on one and 4 on the other. I jumped out. Machine gun things, the guns, hecklers, Heckler and Cockerill, I think they're called. And then they had Glock 9mm. So they're like, arm response, but screaming. I went, stop fucking shouting. I'm not 30 miles away.
Like that,
I said, why do you have to fucking shout, you stupid cunt?
They're twitchy and nervous.
I said, why are you shouting, you stupid little dog? Just called him everything. So he's about 22, 23, like a tit. You fucking wouldn't shout if you got out there and we had 1-to-1. I'd smash your fucking teeth down your throat, you daft cunt. He's going, don't you realise? He's doing this through the window. I'm as close as you there like that. I went, what are you fucking doing? He went, kept doing that, looking through. And I went, if you can't hit me from there, you need to be out of that fucking job. I'm sure you. Go on, put that gun down. You shouldn't be in the job. He's doing that, lining me up from 2 inches away from my face with a gun. Fucking bar me. I said, you daft gun. I went, yeah, fuck off. So what happened there? Charlie in the car, and Charlie was going to bite me. If that dog bites me, I'll shoot it. I said, now I'll rip your fucking head clean off, you daft little cunt. I'll drag you in that car. I'll take that gun off you and I'll fucking shoot you, you cunt. And they're going, calm down. You don't do handguns. And he's going, put your hands up. I goes, fuck off. I'm shouting me, proper move. Once I go in, when I can't come back. So he said something else, went, well, yeah, fuck off. So I hit him on the shoulder and he slid across the fucking ice and hit the deck like a bag of shite. And the coppers down the other end were laughing. Were normal coppers, just normal beat cops. No, not beat, just like normal cops that come around. These were like the elite ones. So he said, oh, you don't. He said, he's ex fucking SES him. Thinks he's fucking hard. He's in all the jiu-jitsu and all that shit. He said, oh, me and the other cop, he said, we're pissing ourselves laughing when you hit him. You knocked him out, didn't you? I said, no, you only hit him on the shoulder. He said, he slid across the road, but they couldn't kick my car door, a big dent in my car. So then the van come, and this other one come, and he was Scottish. He went, you're under arrest for attempted murder. Because I was in the van for ages, put me in the van for about an hour and a half. You're under arrest for the incident an hour and a half, 2 or 3 hours ago. I can't remember, it was 3 hours ago, where the shooting in I said, I'm getting set up here. To ring your Ryan, getting fucking set up. Anyway, they locked us up. I got took to fucking red car. Ryan got took to Stockton. And Charlie got took to fucking Hartlepool. So all in my head, I looked after that dog. He grasped me up. That dog was out in about an hour and a half. I was locked up for fucking 20 hours. The dog was out before me. I said, you grassing cunt, you grassed me up, Charlie. No, we used to have a boxer. And we were laughing like fuck, but the kid got the dog for us. One of the people we knew. It was Ozzie Bingham. Ozzie Bingham got us the dog. And he got the dog. He said, he's made statements against me. Everyone was laughing like fuck. But yeah, they had me. They said, right, you can't have your gas card and you can't have your electric car. So I went to get gas and electric. I went to kind of that. So my gas went off, my electric went off. Oh, you fucking horrible cunt. So I had no gas and electric till the next day because I couldn't put it on. Because I think they took the cards off me, so they couldn't get an emergency one till the next day. It was fucking horrible cunts. They are horrible. So I ended up staying over with my mum's. Yeah, so they nicked me. So I was on bail for 50 months. No, sorry, 12 months, still full. Yeah, I was on bail for 50 weeks. 50 weeks? No, it's just a year, innit? So I was on bail, yeah, for 50. What was it? 50? Can't be 50 days, was it? Yeah, it was. I can't remember the fucking thing now. I was on bail for, I think it was 12 months, I think it was. So I said, why am I on bail? He said, well, what they've done there is they've got you down. I said, oh, that's what they said. They took me from Redcar to Middlesbrough in the end. And then they took me and said to me, what it is, we've got 2 witnesses who've seen you. So this is it. I'd lost the fucking thing now. It was a green piece of paper with the statement. It was all green. It was a bail sheet. No, your bail sheet. It said, witness 1 says, the man, so Ryan's 6'1", 6'2", 16 stone. At the time I was 24 stone, 6'3". Male 1, 5'6" to 5'7". Possible freckly face, possible ginger hair. How the fuck does that sound like me? I said. She said the other one is 5'7" to 5'9", 11 to 12 stone. How the fuck? 2 of them wouldn't even be me. Just take any fucking shit to try and hold me. So she went, oh, we're going to let you go. I said, well, let me tell you this now. Please don't insult my intelligence. I'm way above you, miles above you. You might have been doing this 5-6 years. I've been doing this for fucking donkeys. If someone's caught and you want you in the lineup, they want you straight in that lineup before the people forget what they've seen. So they put you straight in the lineup. They don't say, can you come back in 8 weeks? That's what they said. 8 weeks time, we're going to bail you to come back in 8 weeks. That was it. I've got 8 weeks to come back. When I come back, it worked out. They kept doing it and coming back. It was 12 months all in. I was on bail. And I talked to my mate, little Bronson. He went, they're doing this deliberately to keep you on bail. Because even if you throw a piece of paper on the floor or shout at someone, they'll get you remanded. The exact same thing they're doing now, what they're doing now. Keep me on stupid bail. I don't know if I'm on bail. I mean, I told me about it. He said it's no good now. It's nearly $6 fucking month. And they haven't even told you what they're doing with the bail conditions. So that's against the law, what they've done. Being admissible now. He said it's well gone. So the so-called idiot's gone, yeah, they phoned me and the police told us they're watching everything, every live. Well, no wonder how fucking YouTube channel's going. Come on, the Cleveland police. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Put your hands together now. Let's say, thank you, please. So the police, the snitchy places, the snitches are working with the police. So the snitches are the police and the police are the snitches. They're just the same. They're all fucking rats. Trying to put me away. Can't do it, can you? Because you haven't got the intelligence, you stupid cunt. Stupid cunts. That's what you are, stupid cunts. All your little power and all your little power plays and trying to get drug dealers to set me up and trying to get me to tax people. And I sussed everything you've done every time. Putting bugs in my house, I found the bugs. Putting trackers in my car, I found the trackers. Everything you've done, trying to get people to infiltrate me. Didn't work, did it?
Are you done? Definitely, yeah. We'll definitely do that tomorrow.
198 on, 67 thumbs up. Don't forget to push the like buttons. Fan page, Johnny Jump. Hangman audits through photos of those when they had their phone. Through photos of nudes when they had the phone. That's what it's called. I'm going to close it on about photos of nudes through phones. What the fuck are you on about?
That was it.
I don't know. I just didn't understand what it meant. Photos of nudes when you had the phone. Oh. When they had the phones, you've got photos of nudes or something saying when I've got the phone. Well, that's funny. They have. They're going to buy my charge. You've said that 6 times now.
Well, I'll tell you what, you obviously don't know what kind of phone Brian had.
Yeah, you silly bastards, because the phone I've got couldn't put photos in. It was a fucking £60 phone I got. Oh. Absolute. This is how pathetic he is. Honestly. But this is the little divvy.
What they're trying to do, though, Brian, is trying to get his right.
Oh, I know that. I know exactly what he's trying to do, but I'm saying he sat there devastated because that never happened. But there it is there. That book was all lies, the tax man. There it is there. Everything I've done, I've counteracted you fucking little moron. That didn't happen either. It was never in the Royal Motor document. It's all made up. Well, there it is there. Just to piss you off. There it is there. Who's that there? Scotch Mist. Scotch Mist. Scotch Bride. Silly bastard. There, that magazine, I wasn't in that either. I wasn't arrested for 7 murders, but it says in there, it was questioned over 7 murders. Evans just read it out to you. There, never had a kilt on. It's all lies, all made up in his stupid little mind. It's all made up. So if it's all made up, why is it there? Why am I there with a kilt on, with a sword? What happened is, see the sword and the axe, right? They're out of a joke shop thing that you get, like a fancy dress, that's it. So I'm on the front like that, and it's raining, and I'm like that, messing about on the front. One of the neighbours phoned the police, so 2 armed response come round the corner, and as it there, Steve Richard come, and then the camera crew come, the video of me and take pictures of me, and that's them pictures there, what I took on there. So he comes round the corner, and the cops come. I said, "What? We'll kill you with a fucking plastic sword?" They started laughing. The cops they felt seen the funny side of it, and they were all right when they drove off. 3-litre senators they were, and they went. But he said I made it up. It's all lies. There was no Cockerill was never in that book there. Cockerill left is hated by the peddlers on the scene of the drugs. The 23 stone solid rock muscle, awesome power. He made him a terrifying force in Britain's underworld. So if I'm a terrifying force in Britain's underworld, yeah, not just in North East, Britain's underworld, where does that come from then? Scotch missed again. Why did you get that reputation to be in them type of papers like that, Mr. Tintin? Hey, where did you get them reputation from? And why am I up against the police in there? Who would you phone? The fuzz or the fixer, Brian Cockerill? That's that me again there, I think. I think that's me there, isn't it, guys? So all these papers I've got, where have I got these from? Emma just printed them out in the last hour or so. Yeah, and there's the other one I did last night for you, I think. Got the hard man. There it is there. He said, now what a load of shit. The one in the back garden who's took me on the pads. There he is there, Julian Davies. There is there in front of you. There him there, my big pal Richie. Also, he tried to call trouble Richie. That never worked. That little plan of yours did it. That went down the pan when he found out the lies. So, it says in there, fights, blah, blah, blah. It goes on about the fight. And that for it talks about him at a mining village, Julian Davies fighting. Sometimes 100 people will be watching and they'll go up the hills and fight for money. But then he says, on about me, on this side, he said, we had to record them on tape. People like Brian Cockerill, 6'3", 23 stone, and no fat on him, of Stockton. He is called a giant on the scene and a one-off. So a one-off, meaning a one-off fighter who turns up only every 50 years or so. I'll read that again for you, Mr. Tinfoil. The people like him only turn up every 50 years or so. Julian Davies says 5'10", 16 stone. The big fella ends up fighting whole gangs who set about him to get him. Brian was the biggest and possibly the hardest of all the men I interviewed yet for the book. And it goes on about the Street Fighters book. Now that's coming off Julian Davies, the author of the book. And he was saying, oh, it's all in his fantasy and big bright lines, big bright line, big bright lines, big bright, all that shit. But it's there in black and white. Got him.
Well, not even worth the airtime, was it?
Yeah, but I want to talk about my stuff. Talk about my own stuff. So if I lie, why is it in all the papers? That's what I'm asking you. I guess you could answer that question. It's all in papers over the years from 2002 to 2009, I think they're up to now, 2010. So, and I was in Hello magazines, Nuts magazines. I was in every single magazine right across the country. I was in magazines in America. The thing was advertised in America, the Taxman. Then I did the Roll Moat one. Then I did Gun Nation for Dispatches, which was Channel 5, which I've got that upstairs. It says there, it tells you, it said, oh, the amazing Brian Cockerill made the programme brilliant, being in it, blah, blah, blah. Talks about me. And then I did one with Bernard No More, and he said I was lying. I've got that off Bernard saying, it's a pleasure to work with Brian, as usual, because I've done 3 times he's been in here. I've done two. I've done a book with him, which was about the 50 biggest gangsters in British history. And then I did
Faces of the Underworld.
Faces of the Underworld was the one where I'm getting out the Jeep in Ferry Hill. The so-called author again said that was all made up. He just pretended that was a Jeep. He got out of it. It was his friends, and they just took a picture and pretended Ben O'Mahony was there. that wasn't really Bernard O'Mahony, but it says in there where I turned up with Bernard on it. Just jealousy. That's the whole thing to do with is jealousy, total jealousy. So he says it's not the first time Brian's been done with the Bernards. It's the second from the Essex boys, and he goes on in the paper talking about it. But just the lies he tells is unreal. And there's the other one I did, which is about the odds on there about the taxman. That one there, what I did the taxman. That was the original book. That one, that was 2000 something. About me, my life story. That one that came out. This paper came out, I think, 2002. 2005, sorry, come out. So yeah, the book came out 2005. No, 2004 come out the book. 2004 did the book and it came out 2005. And the documentary was done 2004 and come out 2005 as well. So the book and the documentary was done together, but that was McIntyre that, and the book was done by Steve Richards. So I done that, and I did Viv 3 as well. And I did Salty Fitness. I did Scottish Hard Bastards. I did Salty Fitness with Charlie Bronson. I did all the exercises in it, well, because he was in jail. And then I did Viv 3 book. I was in that, and I was in other people's books over the years. And then I did obviously the other books I've done, Taxman and Teesside book with Emma. So all these things I've done are all made up lies. I'm not real me, by the way. I'm a hologram. I'm from the 28th, 30th century. I've come back in time to tell you the truth. Listen to the icy silly Hal. Come on, and let's get it through myself here. Huh?
Come on, moderators, what you doing tonight? They're all on it, moderating on.
Got my eyes stinging. Nice places up the northeast, mate, isn't there? There is, mate. But yeah, Sherbet, great lad. Yeah. Got me goggles. So he said, must be some reading. Yeah. What I mean.
Mine on my head, aren't they?
Oh, God, my eyes are stinging.
Yeah, do you know what I think?
It's a sunbed today I've been on.
Yeah.
My eyes, I can feel my eyes are bent. I can see my eyes, I mean, you can see it, but I just poked something in the eyeball. Fucking hell. Yeah, my eyes are stinging. We've been on the sunbed. Fucking hell.
Hiya, Kelly.
Pouring water. Autistic Man, Steve, and a few others, 100%.
Let's have a look. Any times for look. Right,
So I like that. See what happens when it comes in this thingy talk and dribble. Yeah, well done, Steve, man. Good lad. Keep them out. Keep them out. Keep them out. It's just jealousy, mate. As you said today the week, I just couldn't lace my fucking boots, and I could never in a million years. I wouldn't have dared do what I've done in my fucking lifetime. I would go into houses with 5, 6, 7, 8 people and fucking fight them on my own. It says in there, he done it without his hands, just with his hands, and you wouldn't believe the portrayal of violence what this man could, appalling violence what he could portray on you. What he's on about is the gangs that jumped me and tried to do things. I used to destroy them, smash the jaws to pieces, bite the fucking nose off, pull their eye out and everything, all sorts, in the fights to win. And he said the appalling violence what he could portray, you wouldn't believe it. And that's what they're trying to say in the book. That's why they put me in Scottish Hard Bastards in the front cover. It's number 1 in Scotland there. They put me in England as number 1. They put me in the fucking Britain's hardest man, Britain's number 1 enforcer. So why did I get all them names off all these papers if I was this man who used to just beat up little kids or beat up old women at the market? Fucking crazy. Yeah, it was good doing that Scottish Hard Bastards book. It was a good laugh. And like the cops were all right with us that day, to tell you the truth. It was a good laugh. Yeah, this book is just about fighting, but the overcoming the odds. Because look at how long I did it. That McIntyre went. The strangest thing about Brian Cockerill, he's still alive and he's still taxed over 30 years and he's still taxing. I still run the doors, so I was 50 odd. I still had all the security, I was like 48. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing debts with Terry for 20 odd years, did debts with Terry. Never ever come unstuck. But a few times I put my hands up, but they were all right. They ended up being friends. But every debt we went and got, we never got everyone. Sometimes we ended up giving people money that they had fuck all in the house. And you can't take that off these. I've got now, and end up giving them £100 for shopping. Main choice is 50 quid each of us. So we were never bad to people. We're always nice. You can do the same job, nice, instead of screaming and shouting, knocking on the door, say, can I help you? Blah, blah, blah. You've got behind in your payments. You owe £1,000 a month. What can you pay so I can get these off? You don't have a load of lads coming around smashing your house up. What can me and Terry do today to help you? They'll say, well, I can afford £500 a month. I'll say, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what you can pay then. Just pay £250 a month. So I'll have to pay. I went, yeah. So instead of paying 500, instead of paying 1,000, sorry, you're paying 250, but you might have to pay an extra £500 over the thing. They went, oh, that's brilliant. And they were over the month because they could easily pay it. I never get people say, you can't get blood out of a stone. You can't take someone, how much you make a month, £2,000, right? I want £2,500 off your month. You can't do it, it's impossible. So I used to give them where it was easy for them to pay. It'd have to be a bit longer, but the people would still get the money and be happy. And then I'd say to them, you haven't got any debt. Well, yeah, I have actually. What do you charge? I say 50%. So that's a bit much. I say, but you've been to court. You've tried to get it with bailiffs, you can't get it. If I try to get it with the police, you can't get it. I'll guarantee you get your money. 50% of something, like 50% of half a loaf is better than no loaf. 50%. So if you're getting 50% of 10 grand, you're getting £5,000 in your pocket. I'm getting £5,000 and you're taking the money out of his pocket. But the only problem was there when he did to people like Jeff Longstaff. I got 86 grand in for him in about 6 weeks. After I did it, no one ripped him. He did the double glazing. No one fucking ripped. I'll get Brian Cockerill. That's what they used to do. They'd use me for one job. And once I did one, they'd know. They'd say, well, I'll get Brian Cockerill. And then they'd say, oh, fuck that, I don't want him company door. And they'd pay. Like that lad the other day, coming in that big lad, 21 stone. He come, didn't he? He went, yeah, I was going to bring with me such and such, but he was scared to come. I said, why are you scared of me? He said, fucking hell, I'm scared of you, the tax man. Yeah, but they don't see the other side of me. They only see the side of me as the fighting side. When you see the nice side, it's totally different. And when you come to see us, people go away with a totally different attitude than what they've come with. Always be nice to people.
Yeah, man, no way Sinead O'Connor died, no.
Oh, you're joking? Brilliant singer. Absolutely brilliant she was. Absolutely brilliant singer she was. Same to you, mate. Autistic man. You are back, same to you. Yeah, it's great. He's all taught this on pet. Rest in peace, great. Yeah, she was a great singer. That song was just crying. It was really sad, isn't it? When she lost the baby.
Yeah, you know, that was when our mum died. That was one I used to play it over and over.
Yeah. I've got loads of these upstairs, like, by the way, these cuttings and statements and everything. I've got the murder trials and everything, all sorts. These things I was never in. It's all made up in his head. Well, the judges making it up now as well, because I've got the judges' papers as well when I got sentenced. And I've also got the statements of the police. And I've also got the statements what they've said I did. And I've also got what they were saying I was done. So I've got all them as well from Nixon's solicitors. So I've got them all now. But that was one of the main ones. Was the great one was this 7 foot. 7 foot. He was nearly 7 foot. That was the one where I kept getting persecuted for ages. Was persecuted. He said, "Oh, lies." Well, like I said, there's a Jesus. Because obviously we found this. It was with State Lee Watley. He did it all that time, but I couldn't bring it out. There it's there. Just there to show you. It says Chris was trying to fight. Blah, blah, blah. The ice. Did not see ice on the floor at any point. On his feet, I was in the kitchen, in the corner. Hold on. Scared. I was standing behind ice once Chris was trying to hit him, but there he is there. If you look at the thing there where that finger is, he was nearly 7 foot. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see. Can't see it. That's the thing.
You need to do it.
It's on there. Can you see that, guys? Somewhere. 7 foot. I don't know if you can see it that way. I can't. I don't think. Yeah, there, 7 foot. There. He's nearly 7 foot. So there's another one. Put to bed with all the bullshit. Never happens. All rise. So them statements are all made up from fucking 2009. 2009, I think they were, or seven. Could be 7. Newspapers are made up. Yeah. Her son killed himself. Yeah, that was it. She was a brilliant singer there. Zombie.
No, that was
Yeah.
Cadbury. She died as well,
Yeah,
didn't she?
that's what they're saying.
But
Yeah, she was a marvellous singer as well. She was on drugs once. That's what killed her. Yeah, it was all about that. She didn't like it, didn't the government? They had a rain on it, didn't like it, because she was bringing out like zombies. Been happening since 1940, for whatever the song is, 400 years, and it's still going on about and going on and going on and going on. That's what she was trying to say, like get peace and quiet. Stephen Dyson, hammered all night, laugh out loud. Yeah, he was only 17. I remember that. He killed himself. I think he was in the bath one night, I'm sure. He cut his wrist or something. Been a few, hasn't there? She did, didn't she? Bob Geldof's daughter, I think, killed herself. Yeah, they are proper sad bunch, mate. Tommy's right. Just got nothing else better to do, mate. Putting people down. But the thing is, if it was true, no one would be bothered thinking, well, I did say that, or I have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, I'm wrong. But they're all made up lies, just shit coming out, diarrhea coming out of his mouth. Pure diarrhea. But the thing is, you've got to have, like you say, a very good memory. And when you're on that fucking horrible stuff, you don't know where you're coming to go. You don't know what day it is the next day. So you fuck up when you're sober, when you're clean, and you've got to go to bed and you train, you're eating good and eating it, and you're living a nice clean life. You go to bed clear and you wake up clear. But when you're taking that other shite, that's why they go blah blah blah, and they can't remember what they've said. Slip up, fuck up. Phil Clark, this is great content, Brian. The true to real stories. Yeah, true stories, real life, exactly, mate. They wouldn't be in the papers if they weren't real, would they? Because obviously people could sue me if it was lies. But yeah. Yeah. Simon Page is back on. I think he wants to do a job.
Simon Jobs.
He wants to do a job. I've got the things from the other documentary, and they say thank you for being in the documentary, and they say, oh, it was an honour to be with you and all that. I've got all that. Yeah, mate. It's all talk and no walk. That's what it is, Steve, mate. It's great talking thousands of miles away, talking shite, but say it face to face to someone totally different then. Anyone can talk on a computer. When 5-year-old can shout a ball on a computer, can they, mate?
Yeah.
Or go and do it to the man.
This is James, because it's going to take too long. Like James, and nobody's done anything wrong, but the people that have been around other places and that I haven't spoken to on a message and don't know who they are, what I've had to do is take a lot of spanners off, because lots of people are still getting blocked. So if you message that WhatsApp number, and then I can mod you back up. But at the
just to be safe there, James Jameson, because there's that many people. We don't know where we're fucking coming and going. There's that many
And
coming
there's
in.
people
and
going
it's
into other
ruining.
places listening to the worst kind of vile names and sleeping with Bobby and stuff like that. That's not music.
Absolutely.
Anybody that can listen to that, I'm sorry.
Bobby couldn't.
Don't bother coming in here.
Bobby couldn't even do anything.
I'm not saying any of you have.
Bobby couldn't do anything anyway. The medication he's on couldn't do nothing. He makes some cabbage.
I don't know. I've had all this time.
No, but
everyone on YouTube.
Poor fucker, you could hardly fucking get out of bed in the morning and go to sleep the night. He's that poorly. He's on that much like medication.
I don't say that like so we're all worried about Bobby being so vulnerable.
So what?
Do you know what I mean? So
if he's all vulnerable, why did this? Stephen Stewart, his psychiatric social worker, come the other day. I've never seen him looking so good. He looks absolutely marvellous. He lost all that belly fat. He looks happy. He's playing with the dog and everything. Every time I see him, he's and you're going for walks and all that. He said he's never looked so good. So that's from the psychiatric social worker. Comes to see him once a month, and then we go over there every week, every party. But I can't go. Chris Curry's been taking them, and my other mates, my other pal's been taking them. My niece, my cousin, our Chantal, she's been going take Bobby up. He has to get a depot injection. Anyone who knows what I'm on about. You get a depot injection every 2 weeks for your system. If you leave it for 4 weeks, you have to start over again. You have to go back to the doctors and get it. The injection. They're that powerful. It's the strongest medication you can get, and he has that to the strongest you can get. And then he still has to have medication. Then has to give him every day. I have to give him it.
But he can also live in his own house and stuff.
Yeah, he lives in his own house. Yeah, he's got his little flat.
I speak the truth, Dal. Don't want a spanner. Don't want to be best mate. Just look after yourself. Life's too short. All the best, Dal. Victoria Jacobs. Thank you so much, Victoria. That's
Thank you, Victoria. What a lovely message.
People,
yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have messages like that. People who are nice, but people just ranting and raving all as far as views, and because people won't bend to their will and they're what they want you to do. I'm not a fucking robot, and my wife said not a robot. My wife helped this person to no end, and I mean to no end. He wouldn't have had the channel if it wasn't for Emma getting all the fucking subs. He was only on 300 subs when we first met him. And we ended up getting him on, saying, go on to this lad's channel, he's a great lad, bullying him up, no pun intended, and bullying him up and got him up to his 1,000 things. And now he's saying he'd run my channel for 2. Yeah, you couldn't run a bath. You couldn't even run a fucking bath, even if you had a fucking bath in your fucking house and at the tap.
And just so people know, because the things that I was saying was, there was a girl on there who was a moderator for us. I've been accused of having babies' graves and child's graves out in pictures like that, and I've been accused of having people's children. My phone full of pictures of that.
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
Well, the great thing is you've got all the proof to prove it's all lies.
Absolutely sick.
You made the biggest mistake of your life because she's looked through the stuff today.
One thing about me, that girl was saying on the panel, I'm a Scorpio. I'm going to doorstep her. I'm a Scorpio as well. One thing about me, I might get upset, right, and get down, right, like the person said himself. Oh, she gets upset over comments. Yeah, well, because I've got a heart, right. So then I'll be quite silent, like I have been. And this now is the Emma you want to worry about.
The one who's got all the evidence and all the proof and all the
not even that
documentation,
the phone calls, the things that I've had of people that owe me favours from past and things like that. You want to be really, really careful. A lot of you, I'm telling you now. And that's no threats, no nothing.
203 on. Don't forget to push the like button. 82 thumbs up. Let's try and get past the 100 again, guys. Yesterday we got 182. Phenomenal, but we had to come on twice. It went off and come back on. But with the 2 lives yesterday, we had to start after about an hour. 182 people with the thumbs up. Unbelievable. Dolores. Yeah, I've gone back in time with the Dolores. That's what it's called, the Dolores time machine with Thingy Fox, isn't it? What's he called? Michael J. Fox. He was in it when it was a brilliant film. So what I've had to do is go back in the time machine to get these books, and they're all made up, never been made. Cranberries, that was the name of them, yeah. I love that band. When I was inside, I had the DVD of that, and I used to listen on my DVD. The ones for like a radio one. You had the radio and you put the DVD on. I used to listen to the Cranberries on the night in the pad. Yeah, it was good. Brilliant singer. She's only tiny, once you know, about 5'2" or something, tiny little thing. Brilliant voice.
Very true, James. 100% agree with that. I'll put the number there so you just remember it's only got a WhatsApp message, so I can just get you back on your moderator. Just got to check everything.
Yeah, you're right. Carol Curtis sick to say them things about you. Carol, look, her heart broke there, like a little heart. Because Carol knows, like the our sisters, the sisters, like.
They said she's that evil. They can't have kids. The little didn't know that I lost a baby and stuff. Do you know what I mean? They haven't got a clue what's going on in my life. None of them. They're absolute sickos, a lot. But anyway, I'm going to pray for those who persecute you. Tragic life story, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. He's got Parkinson's now.
So is Bruce Willis, and it's so sad. He's so poorly with it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he's really bad, the other one.
Have you seen Bruce Willis lately?
No.
At his party, oh, so sad. Oh, I'll get up here. I got shocked because I didn't know he was poorly.
Tommy Robinson. Nothing to say about the newspapers you showed last night. It says it all really. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's Green Pratt. Nothing to say about the newspapers you showed last night. Yeah. So you can't beat them, can you, mate? There's a thing called, when you come out with the full truth and you've got it there in the bank of lights, he will still deny saying, the made up, he's got someone to do him, and okay, he's just fucking mentally deranged. The two of them, both of them are the exact same as each other, them two. They're both smacked out their heads all the time, they're both liars. And they're both trying to gather people and groom them into the, and you're the best and you're the best at this and you're great and all that. And then
everyone gets called the same name.
And every person's a nonce. Hey, sounds like fucking Harold off Steptoe. Look, it looks like him as well, them teeth. Old brown teeth. I know Steve would do with them teeth. If he hit him, knock the fucking lot clean out.
That's,
there's no comeback then on the fucking Steve challenge.
No,
I said that yesterday. I said there's no way he'd have the bollocks to meet you toe to toe. Not in a fucking million years.
And everyone who
it's all
doubted,
bullshit.
And everyone who doubted me and sat on the fence,
you're
gonna reap what you sow.
It's not just that, you're going to be gutted when you see it because
that's Bruce Willis now.
Oh my
Terrible,
God! I can't believe it's that bad.
Yeah, look there.
Fucking hell. It's terrible that.
I know, it really upset me.
It's about 90.
Really upset me.
He used to be in a series called Moonlighting.
He was absolutely fine, and all of a sudden...
I think he was the best actor out of them all, mate. I think he was a better actor than Stallone, better actor than Arnold, better actor than... I think he was the best actor out of them all. Very small, like, he's only about 5'4".
Definitely. Brilliant
actor. That Die Hard season what he did was marvellous. And the funny films he did were good as well. It makes you cry, don't you? See something you look up to him as a kid, as actors now, because we used to watch it. Me now, Bobby. I think it was on a Friday, Saturday night, and she was in it. She's a model. I think she's passed away now. Cameron blonde hair. Cameron name now.
Shepherd. No,
Sybil Shepherd. Yeah. Sybil Shepherd. Yeah, I think she's passed away.
Ultimately.
She was massive, wasn't she? Tall, big, long, leggy thing, and he was 5 foot thingy. So they had to put things in his. He had to put things in his shoes, little implants in the shoes. He like throwing fudges high, and he was doing it. Sylvester Stallone. So, but Sylvester Stallone was walking on his tiptoes because his bodyguard come in and caught him, and he couldn't. He didn't have time to put these like I can't what they call them to make you bigger in your shoes. So he seen me start. He said he was walking around on his tiptoes because he was that small. He's tiny, Stallone.
Yeah.
So he's about 5'5" or something.
Well, talking about films again.
So, what films?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, does it?
No, I like it.
So he was in that film. That was good. T2.
We like talking about film.
Weird City, not so good as Terminator 2. Yeah, Terminator 2. I like Terminator 1, mate. I love the music. I liked it the best because it was the best, wasn't it? And it was like, dun, 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 the music. When he goes to that place with the things going, boom, 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 like an oil well, I think it is. And then he goes, give us your clothes. Takes his clothes off the bloke and pinches his bike. Bad to the bone. I'm bad to the bone. That was brilliant, that bit. I wouldn't say I was an actor. I think he was better when he was acting parts where he did have them voices, like obviously the German accent, when he was like, I'll be back, because he sounded like the robot then. But when he tried to speak in that Twins, it was terrible. I think that was terrible, that film, really bad.
He was filming close by Autistic Man, Tom, not long ago. In the North Yorkshire Moors.
Should have come and seen his Autistic Man. Have I got something wrong with me? Do I smell that bad? You're welcome here anytime, Autistic Man.
No, I said Tom Cruise was.
Oh, I thought he was on about Autistic Man.
Tom Cruise.
See how easy it is to fucking blame people for things.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, it's Autistic Man.
He said Autistic
Man. You want to straighten with me now?
Autistic Man said he liked Tom Cruise. He said he was filming close by.
BBC iPlayer, Brian responds.
Colin said you were the Teesside Terminator.
That's what they used to call me when I was a kid, when I was only about 20, 21, 22, to get the Terminator. Because all the others were like in the late 30s, 40s, were all old then. I was the only young lad on the door. I was 19 when I went coming up for 20. I was the picture I've got an old me pulling even when I was a kid, it was 1986, and I'm pulling a truck with George Fawcett, and there's two girls gathering money in buckets. We got £160 that day for charity for kids.
Carol said Sybil Shepherd's still alive, 73 years.
So
Thanks, Carol.
There must have been another model that's died. Yeah, she's dead tall, wasn't she? Really tall. But she never went on as big as him. Bruce Willis went on a lot bigger than her. I think she was from Australia, I think. It used to be on a Saturday night, Moonlighting. It was good. It was like the detective series. Like Cagney and Lacey a bit. You remember that? The Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Remember all them things? Autistic Man will remember that. Brilliant. I used to go down the monsters and that in the sea. I fucking loved all that stuff. Then that was another great one. The Time Tunnel. That's where I've been for these papers, the Time Tunnel. Been back in time. Fucking crackers. No matter what you do, you can prove them 1,000,000% wrong. And they'll say, he's lying. But they just look, that's when they end up getting sectioned, so they get put away. I mean, the judge, how many times now has the judge phoned him, remember?
Oh, great.
How many times the police phoned him? I spoke to a policeman. I spoke to a high-ranking officer. I spoke to an inspector, for fuck's sake. We walk around with the police uniform next. Yeah, that's what I said, mate. That's what I'm saying, Steve. When he's in films where he didn't talk, that's when he's shown. When he was in like Conan the Barbarian, when he had that accent, it was good because it was like barbaric days type of thing. But when he was in a film where he had to speak, he'd struggle. But they said he'd never act, and he ended up getting about $600 million. So it just shows you can do it. If you really want to do something, you can do it. It was really, to be quite honest, it's just made there's a film about 2 hours. It tells you when he was a kid. Now I've seen it twice. It's brilliant. It goes back. So he said when all the other kids were having like girls on the wall, like I don't know, Miss World and all that stuff. He said I had men on the wall with their underpants on and oil on them. He's watching men on the wall with these underpants in the middle of the night with a torch. He was obsessed to be a bodybuilder. They thought he was gay or something like that. The mum like that. And she went, my son, and they got this doctor in to come and see him. He went, oh, he's just perfectly normal, Mrs. Schwarzenegger. But she said, everyone else has got page 3 girls or whatever they were, in them days, on the wall, like Raquel Welch or something. And he's got men on the wall with his suntan on, suntan lotion on. He thought, what's going on with him? But when he was 20-year-old, he won the Mr. Fucking Universe. He was fucking huge. He was a one-off, like. The only thing he didn't have was, they reckon that he paid for his calves to be implanted. And they reckon that his legs were only 27 inches. Remember, 36 and a half, sorry, just under 37. And my legs, when you see my legs next to his, just blow them out of the water, but his arms are a lot better than mine. His back was better, things like that. But yeah, chose a porridge too. Only Fools and Horses, yeah. You can't. You watch that Only Fools and Horses. How many times you watch it, you still laugh. You still miss bits out. But that porridge was funny. It was brilliant. Stand by your beds. Stand by your beds. Fucking brilliant. Yeah, them 70s, and 80s comedies will never be emulated. Never. And then there was Voice of the Bottom of the Sea, yeah. And then it was all the time. Remember the Time People? That was good. And then there was the ones where they were little. Remember, they went into one place and they were really little people. And then the Land of the Giants, that was it. The Land of the Giants actually on the Sunday afternoon. Then there was Robbie the Robot, the Thingy family, where they went to space and Lost in Space. That was great. Black and White, it was it. I used to watch all that. Yeah, timeless. Yeah, Carol, you're right. I tried to watch one the other night. I only got to watch 3. They're that good. You still have to pay for them to watch them now. Where the stuff we watch, like say The Sopranos, like you get them for free. But the stuff from the 60s, you have to pay for it, and the 70s, because it's that good.
Rick Man has asked if would you offer a short prayer to all here now? Yeah, that's no problem. I'll do a prayer now.
Go on then, Emma.
Yeah. 2 seconds. I'll just take this back there. Put this one on. 2 seconds.
That's 28 seconds now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know tonight. So I want to thank Jesus for all those in this chat tonight. And I want to thank you, the loyal ones and the ones that have supported us. And I also want to pray protection over everybody in this chat tonight, that they don't get any aftermath of what's going on with the enemy side. I also want to pray for the enemies who's trying to ruin our reputation.
Yes, well said.
I pray for them that they find peace, and because the resentment and the hatred that is getting spewed out must be absolutely disgusting to live with.
Yes.
I pray, Jesus, that you bring peace into the hearts and they can get on with their life. I pray for all of us just to wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a brighter day. And I just pray for love always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Praise the Lord. Amen. Well said. Yeah, it must be sad to be in that mode where you hate people and you go out your way to destroy people and hate people because you're that sad in your own world. You've got nothing else to do. Can't you go out there and help people? What do you think help people is a lot better than hurting people? But when you're going to hurt someone, if you're going to hurt them, if you tell the truth, it's not so bad. But when you're spewing out lie after lie after lie after lie, just compulsive lies, your soul is getting eaten away by the devil. You're going down below. The more you do that to people, the more the devil comes at you. So in our us as Christians, we know that the Lord Jesus Christ will pay you back tenfold. Look what's happened to the Tin Man. Look at the state of him with all the stuff. Look at me, I'm getting better and better and fitter and stronger. Me and him are getting stronger together. All this stuff that's been sprouted up. I know my wife's done nothing. She knows I've done nothing. Me and her have been together for 4 years. We've been together every day, nearly every single day in that 4 years. She's looked after me when I've been bad in the hospital bed for over 2 years, washing me, cleaning me, feeding me, put me in baths, take me to appointments, never missed one. And for you to say these horrible things about my wife was an angel, it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, vile, just to make numbers up. So sad. So just thank you anyway. Thanks everyone in the chat.
Us to do the prayer.
And thank you everyone in the chat.
Thank you. Not here for the drama, just here because it's you. Ultimately, I think you're very welcome here anytime.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, brother. Anytime. And we're only a text away for anyone who's feeling down, feeling fed up. It only takes me a couple of seconds to text back, yeah. Weird City, Mafia, Shedham. Yeah, the Lone Ranger was great. The Little House on the Prairie, yeah, I used to cry every fucking week when it was on. You'd see Mary, she lost her eyesight, and you'd be there. And your mum would go, "Are you crying?" And go, "No, I'm not crying." Your big tears run down your face. Poor Mary's gone blind. That was fucking so real, wasn't it, when you were a kid? The horses died, Nellie the horse or something. Nellie was horrible, wasn't she? Remember Nellie? The evil one with the blonde hair. She was fucking the devil in her. Yeah, Nellie Olsen. Nellie Olsen, that was her name. Fucking horrible. And the mum was like a witch. She looked like the witch off the Wizard of Oz, didn't she, the mum? And she was one of them braggers, wasn't she? Oh, I've got the best of everything. My curtains are from France. My such and such was what a fucking bullshit she was. She was the shop owner, and the old man had the bald head. He used to go mad with her. And then there was the son, he was blonde there. And then he used to go to school in the little house on the prairie. You know what? He used to be on the Waltons. I used to love the Waltons. Good night, Jim Bob. It's like you lot, and he want to say good night. Good night, Seema. Good night, Tommy. Good night. We all fucking wait to you lot. Yeah, over 174 people still watching. 101 on. Absolutely massive and amazing. The numbers what we're getting because of obviously. It's nice, isn't it, when you tell the truth. The last 5 minutes are genius. Great films, yeah, great films. Come on then. Who's going to give me the best film? Do you think? I think Moses and the Ten Commandments, the original was brilliant. The original with Charlton Heston in. And I loved Moby Dick. That was brilliant, wasn't it? But absolutely Abraham. They call me Ishmael. That was a brilliant film, that. Moby Dick. The whale. The white whale. Brilliant film. Don't do them now, do they? Jason the Argonauts, remember that? Fighting the fucking teeth. Teeth would come out and be skeletons. You would like, oh, look, shitting yourself as a kid, about 10-year-old, like, oh, watching it on a Saturday morning, Jason the Argonauts. I seen her, Carolyn Monroe, they call her. She was absolutely stunning. She's still on Channel 82. She used to do all the old horror films and that. But she was in that as a princess. She must be about 78, 80 now. She looks marvellous now for her age and that. But yeah, brilliant she was in all the old films I've seen today. I thought, that's that woman off the such and such. You know, I was right. I said Carol Monroe. Remember, and when we went to the pitch to see it as kids, me and my sister and my brothers. We stayed in 3 times. The $1 million man, yeah, I like it. That's fucking what I am. The nuts and bolts and the fucking titanium rods and the fucking plastic screws and the fucking titanium fucking rods and fucking everything in me. I fall to bits. No triceps in there. Half that leg's fucking big chunks missing out of me. Looks like I used to say to the kids, oh, a shark bit me. Messed about for the kids because you can't tell the kids what happened to you. Your nephews and stuff. Oh, got bit by a shark in the sea. Papo Lazarenko, a Captain Caveman, have the power to rebuild you. Fucking right there. Fucking love to be them. I was like Steve Austin. We have the power to rebuild you. I'd be the 6 billion, wouldn't I? Not fucking 6 million now. It costs you billions. Yeah, so you just being on the Channel Y live. Oh, tinfoil block, John Sweeney. Oh, John, that's what you get for fucking off on the other channel, John. That's what you get. So he thinks he's got a bit of credence for that bullshitter. The bullshitter, he's another one. Grassing Steve Mack up. You seen him the other night saying, he's doing this and he's doing that and he's doing this, and then fucking Steve's been turned over at his house or something he hasn't even done. Just so that bullshitting fucking grass. Snitch. So the snitch calling all these people like Paddy Conroy, a snitch, a grass, a snitch, a grass, a snitch, all this time for 6 months or so, yeah. I know he's jumped from one ship to another ship. And he's gone called the other one fucking tinfoil for the last fucking 6 months. Pretended he was in our side, and then he jumped ship because I wouldn't bend to what he wanted me to do. I said, fuck off. Oh, you should ban him out of there and you should have him in there. I said, I'm fucking, yeah, people on my channel stay on my channel. They do out wrong, then they'll get banned. They've done fuck all wrong. I'm not welcome people because you don't like someone. I mean, somebody might like, say, Oliver Reed. Somebody might like fucking James Bond, Roger Moore. But because you like them, it doesn't mean say I have to like him, but it doesn't mean say I have to ban them. He wouldn't mean to ban certain people just because you're shitting yourself because the lad who offered him out couldn't fight and his ass was gone. So he wanted to get him off. And the other lad who offered him out, and the other big mate, he shit himself. So he thought, get rid of them too, because I'm not bothered about the others. But I never got rid of them. So I wouldn't get rid of anyone unless they did something bad. And they'd have to be really bad. But to kick somebody out for nothing, no, I don't think so. Jaws, top 10, yeah, Jaws. It was the music one. You turn the music off in any horror film and watch it. It's not scary. Put the music on. I went with my mate, Trevor Dawes. 1976, 77. And he'd been in, and the fucking head fell out. Remember the bit where the head falls out? I went, "Ugh," fucking jumped out my fucking skin. The head falls out the boat, and then it's like bodies washed up on the beach. It was scary, that film. Yeah, it made him a fortune. That I liked him. The actor who was in that. What did you call him now? Robert Shaw. I think the Battle of the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge was a good film. That was brilliant. The tanks fighting with the Germans. With Kojak, he was a great actor. Who loves you, baby? And I liked the Magnificent Seven, the first one. When we seen them going in, you was like, we were like that in Spennymoor. There was 7 of us going into the town, and every time I used to go out when I was a kid, I was only like 22, something like that. I'm like the Magnificent Seven Army and going into the sheriff going into the town and taking over. Well said, John. Well said, John. 100%. Love you, son. All the world. Yeah, horrible bastards, mate. Done nothing wrong to the fucking. It's all made up lies. But the thing is, Emma's too clever for him. Like Emma, fucking buying, fucking selling. I'm telling you, she's really intelligent, and she takes everything, and she's got everything categories all sorted out. All in that one lined out. All the names of that one. All the fucking hell. It's all like like a school teacher who's obsessed with fucking OCD. That's what she's got. Everything ready to. Beep, 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 all comes up. Beep, 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 all comes up. So when he's saying, she's been saying this about a certain person, and when you check, they weren't even on the channel 2 months before it. That's how fucking dummy they are. Dumber. That's what happens when you take heroin. It makes you thick. Makes you thick and shout and bawl and bully old men. And for the so-called thing about Teddy Dicko doing a runner with the tinfoil and his mate, I'll tell you what happened. Teddy was 64-year-old, and he was, tinfoil was about 39, and his mate was about 33. So Teddy's coming on the corner, so there's 2 of them. They went, Teddy Dicko. So he went, Jamie Doyle. So he went, wait there. So Teddy ran to the pub. He runs off the camera. He had Mitch running. He ran to the pub. I think it was the Pig Iron or the Green Tree. I'm not sure. I think it was the Green Tree. He ran there for their young Teddy. Young Teddy. Teddy's mad. Well, young Teddy's fucking a different level. Young Teddy was looking for him, and tinfoil done a runner, pulled the police on him. And then Mark, Teddy's nephew, was going to pull his fucking head off because he put something in the book what Teddy didn't want him put in, and it caused trouble in the family. So Mark then went on for him. So he phoned the police on Mark again. He just never stopped phoning the police. He fucking never stops phoning the police. And he has the cheek to team up with that other fucking snitch. 2 snitches together, grassing everyone up. And then they've gone, well, one eye. Have you ever seen that film with a man where he loses his eye and it's Viking? There's not much talking in it. Can you remember it? And they go abroad. I think they find America for the first time. They have a fight with loads of Indian tribe, and he's in the Scottish. He's in the hills fighting. I can't remember the name of that. It's a brilliant film. That I can't remember. He's not a top actor. Great film. I think he's Swedish or something. It is like a Swedish film, like Vikings, and they go abroad. The woman's fucking scary. I went, scary that. I didn't like it. The fucking shit took me. When that fucking, well, no, it's the other one I'm thinking of, the woman, the Exorcist, and the neck went, fucking hell, but the shit took me. Telly Savalas, he was great. And I'm going to ram them. He had no fucking nothing to kill the Germans with. So I'm going to ram them, he said. Ram them with his tank. He's fucking brilliant actor. He's also in that film where the Birdman of Alcatraz, Burt Lancaster. Eli, stop it. The Birdman of Alcatraz was brilliant. Remember. Instead of remember, I do remember. So you remember. Do you remember the good old days? Have you seen Once Were Warriors with Mint? Once Were Warriors. I tell you what, there's 3 parts to that, I think. Jake the Snake. Am I right? They're all saying, how does he fucking know all this stuff?
You find wants to come and see
Jake the Snake. Once Were Warriors. That's a brilliant film.
Every day he comes in.
Come on, you. Yeah, give it a kiss.
Eli, come on.
He didn't bang in there to come in.
Come on. He was talking in the kitchen. I knew he wanted to come and see you.
He usually goes scratch,
on,
and then goes,
That's what he's doing in the kitchen.
under there between me legs. There he is.
He's under there.
Come on.
Go on. Can you see him?
Come on, babes.
Hello, little baby.
What's
Like.
good? We've got the thing in that.
Hello.
Look at the size of that under the. Imagine that getting you.
Hello, little dirty
Look at the
face.
size of that.
Hello, little dirty
Look at the
face.
size of him now. Can you remember him, guys? He's only what?
No, he's little dirty
19
face.
months.
Come on. Come on.
Proper muddy pig he is.
He's like Muddy Pig.
Oh, that stinks, that smoke. He like me. That's why he's got mad. He wants out the smoke.
I think he does see him
Killing
under
me.
there with you.
Oh, he's killing me.
Hello,
got that.
baby boy.
All I could do is that book and that.
Come on.
Waft the shit out. Well, there's even more shit coming off that book. What am I doing? The smell of that book's fucking terrible.
Come on, baby. How are you like?
He's all right. Just leave him. He's a
Going to
daddy-
stay with your dad?
little daddy baby, isn't he?
Look at his little love heart and his nose. Hello, little baby boy. Hello.
Oh, my baby. Where's my little
Where's
sausage? Oh,
little
daddy's
baby
little sausage.
boy? Where's the little baby?
Colin's on.
Oh, I see.
Little Colin.
Come on,
All
son.
right there, Colin, lad. All right, son.
What's he doing?
Come on, Colin.
He's all right. He's got his head between my legs.
Oh,
He's got his my calves. I use my calves to put his head between and I push his head. He likes me squishing him.
He does right.
Likes me laid on him and everything. He's dead loving. He lays on you as a ton. He must be about 80 pounds in weight now.
How are you like? Buckle up.
He's probably sitting with his dad.
Yeah, with his dad.
Little baby.
Oh.
James Osborne, my dad's favourite. James Osborne. Jamie Osborne. I don't know that one. Jamie Osborne. Great Escape. Well, the Great Escape was fucking brilliant. Great Escape was absolute true story. That I've seen the when they made it, and I tell you what else is great. Where they did it in the wooden horse. Remember, like Troy, what they did is the Trojans come and they said, right, we'll be friends now. So they built a big, massive horse for them, and in the horse there was a little hole where the soldiers could get in. So when they put it in, they would look around and thought, there's no one about. But get the horse in. It was made of wood. The Trojan horse. Trojan means you can get inside.
Oh,
So, hey, get out.
come
Out, go away. Out.
Ungo.
Can't get it
Go
out. It's
on.
that heavy.
Come on, you little bugger looks.
Right. That smoke kills me when she smokes. Kills my eyes. So, also makes me throw up. So, they went in this big horse, the wooden horse it's called. Trojans went in the horse, and anyway, they brought it in the castle, in the wall. They brought the drawbridge come up. They brought it in, it'll be all right. So when they went to sleep, they came out of the Trojan horse and sacked. That means flattened it and took over. But the best ever military man for me was Napoleon. I think Genghis Khan was better. He was called Imogen Khan, and he was captured. His dad and him when he was a kid, and they killed his dad, and he escaped. He killed his stepbrother. He was 9, I think, when he did 9. I think it was 11 when he escaped, and he went around and he befriended people and got them to be warriors, and he had the whole known world. He made more money than any fucker. He had billions and billions of money, and he had 50 soldiers go and bury the money, and then the other 50 soldiers went and killed them, and then the other ones, when they come back, they killed them. So no one ever knew where the money was. They're still trying to find the money to this day. But he would go in and say, right, to China, because China was the province, called like the area, say like Teesside, the province of, say, whatever, and we'll go there, Beijing, say, right, we want £1 million a year, or we're going to kill you, your kids, your dad, your mum. This kills everything, wiped every fucking thing out. So they went in, if they started, they'd wipe everything out. But he'd say something like, how much do you pay? And they'd say 10 million. Well, you give me 1 million or 5 million, which is half the debt, and I'll look after you. And that's what he started doing. So he took over the whole world, the known world. But while we were in caves, they had silkworms doing silk. We used to have the Silk Road where they'd go, and a camel was called a caravan. So they would have a caravan of camels where they'd take all the goods, and they made fingerprints, the Chinese. And but the Mongol warriors were the best warriors ever. Then Genghis Khan never ever lost one fight or one battle. He won every single battle, and he was the greatest. But he's impregnated 2.7, I think it's 27% of the world as Khans. He impregnated thousands of women with his obviously sperm, And you check it up. I'm not bullshitting. He was in the 13th, 14th century, and he said, "I am the punishment." When he used to tax him, he used to say, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." So that was what he used to say. He was brilliant. But then there was like Napoleon was clever. He was super intelligent. He went to Egypt. When they were in Egypt, the English sank his ships, so he had to stay there for 2 years. So they were stuck in Egypt for 2 or 3 years. So while they were there was a stone called the Rosetta Stone, or the Rosetta Stone. It was like hieroglyphics, but they worked out how to read hieroglyphics through the Rosetta Stone. So he took it home, and he went, "Eureka! That saying comes from there." He found it in the bath. He did it. So he changed the Rosetta Stone. It helped him how to find hieroglyphics and read hieroglyphics. So because of that mistake, then being there, they went all over and took money off everyone, Napoleon's people. But it was very hard to build ships, and guess why? It was in the desert, so there was no wood. So it was very hard. So it took years to get back to where they were, to France. But he was he's only about 5'4", but his intelligence he was there. I think he was a general about 18, and he was an emperor at 21, I think it was. So he was fucking brains unbelievable. But he used to say an army marches on his stomach. And Attila, yeah, there's Attila and Genghis. Yeah, very sick. Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun. Attila the Hun, what he was, that's where you get, I think he was Romania, if I'm right. And he would go in, Attila the Hun, it was him. And I think that was the one that was vampire, and I'm not sure now. And he used to go in, and he used to, no, it was Vlad the Impaler, sorry. Vlad the Impaler was the one where he'd go in, he'd kill every fucker, and stick the heads on sticks. Stick the heads like fucking right through. So they called him Vlad. So that's where the Dracula comes from, Romania, I think he was from. Vlad the Impaler, he impaled you on a stick. So he'd have like 1,000 people all impaled on fucking sticks, all dead. So people go, fuck, hell, good. You can imagine going through there, all right, you'd fucking shit yourself. But that's what it was for, to show you. And he used to drink the blood, and that's where the vampire comes from, that the myth. Attila the Hun was another one, great fighter. So he was good as well. He was the only one ever beat the Romans, was Hannibal. So they had a fight, and he had the elephants. They went over the Alps with the elephants, and they'd never seen elephants, the Romans. And they come in anyway, they beat them with these elephants, but then they had a fight. Now that, this Carnage. Carnage was the Battle of Carnage. Now that same Carnage is like, say, an airplane crashes and 50 people are killed, and the bodies are construed all over the roads, and heads a bit all smashed off and things like that. That's called Carnage. So that saying comes from that battle, because the Romans fucking wiped out every one of the barbarians that were. Wiped them out. They were German barbarians, wiped them all out, but that was it. And then we had our what do you call her? I can't remember her name now. The woman one. She was good. I can't remember her name now. She took on the Romans and beat them. Then she got beaten. I just had her name there. Forgot it. Does anyone know her name? Come on. Well, brown gingery hair. She took on the Romans and the horrid cars, chariots. Oh, they call her. Don't be naming. Don't be heading. She was fucking mad, she was. She was like a man. Strong as a bull, fighting men, everything with swords and everything. I can't remember her name. Military leaders, yeah, undefeated in that battle. Alexander the Great was brilliant. He went all the way through from where he started, and he went right the way through the whole known world. He was another one. He went probably the furthest out of everyone, because obviously they had more technology then as well. What they call that fucking woman's doing me head? Boudica was she called? Boudica, I think she was called. Or Boudica, that was her name. Boudica, she was fucking mad. I think she was Scottish, I think. She was fucking mad. She'd fight the Romans, but she beat them. But then they come back and beat them. And that's why in Scotland, they were scared of the Scottish. The Scottish used to paint themselves with blueberries and run in with no clothes on at them. So they built Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall was about 50 feet high, and every mile would have a Rottweiler on there. The Rottweilers were the guard dogs, and that's why that wall was built. because the Scots was terrified. The Romans were terrified of the Scots. They couldn't conquer Scotland. But they're probably like the greatest military minds going, them people. And then you've obviously got to be Roman. Was Julius Caesar, fucking genius, absolute genius he was. Very clever. Oh, what am I to tell you? Anyone in the Vikings, yeah, the Vikings were good. Vikings were good. But the Romans were a different league, total different league. They had the empire for 1,000 years. No one's ever ruled that long. No one. Romulus and Romus, they built Rome. Romulus and Romus, I think they had a fight and all. Two had a fight. My chat has frozen. Is anyone else doing the same? No. Frozen. Is it frozen? Is anyone all right? See, mate, how great things think I'm like, right? Humble crumble. Humble apple crumble. Right, I'm going to go, guys. I'm shooting it. It's freezing. Yeah, he's on. Boudica, that's the one. Yeah, she was crazy, crazy woman. She was a big woman. She just take your head clean off, killed loads of Romans when they come to England. I'm sure she was Scottish, I think. Yeah, she's there. Nine things I like. Right, guys, I'm going to shoot. My next starting to seize up and everything, so I'm going to shoot. I'll get fucking 10 years, won't I? So I've got to stop saying that because the police are watching every live coming from tinfoil and they're going to get you and you're going to jail for life. I'm really scared.
I'll do it for you.